Monday again. Good to see you all. Centre Circle. As always, please follow, subscribe, stay in touch. Thank you all the listenership so far and all the comments, all of them, no matter how ill-advised they may seem. I'm John.
Isaac.
Mark.
Dad's in the building.
Man like Keith.
So yeah, this weekend seemed to be I said seemed to be, you know. This weekend was a decisive weekend in the Premiership. We're going to touch on that. But I think today we'll do the usual kind of results and fixtures, but I think there's some bigger things to talk about. There's a couple of visitors we probably need to get onto. There's a topic around pitch invasions. We need to talk about, you know, something that's happened too many times and will continue to happen regarding Vinicius Jr. in Spain. Mark, how was that? Huh?
No, I think you got clips still.
Is it a clip?
Yeah.
Well, I didn't do the video.
You called him Vinicius Jr.
Yeah, what? It's just a Vinicius.
Vinicius.
New part of the knee.
You know what, yeah?
New part of the knee.
Oh my days.
You know what, yeah? It's cool. I've got a very good friend who's Brazilian. I'm going to ask him.
It's definitely not Vinicius though, bro.
Yeah? All right, we'll see. Because when he talked about to say Richarlison, yeah, properly, I said, sorry, bro.
Is it not just Richarlison?
Nope.
Oh.
I just said, I'm going to say how I say it because you see that there.
It's not Richarlison.
No, it's
Bro.
not. I learned with Coutinho as well. It's not. That's not how you say it.
No. And he said it a couple of times, yeah, and it sounded like I needed like a locket or something after. I said, no, it's cool.
Felix at Chelsea, innit? It's Felix, not Felix.
Yeah.
Yeah, bruv. He said it in an interview himself.
To be fair, man, we need to put effort into learn because if it was any of our names, if it was my Yoruba name, I'm cussing man out. So yeah. But let's start with. I know these two are itching.
Do you know
Oh,
what?
calm.
I'm calm,
Yeah.
man.
BS on different
the damage
levels.
Is done. The damage is done.
Okay.
So
You decided to be
Then nothing
cool.
surprising's happened, is it?
yeah,
Like,
I mean,
so
it's
alright,
not
innit?
nothing.
They said they're done, but their friend
wasn't-
Sly Diggs in there. Say
Nothing
that.
we haven't said already said. To be fair,
You're gonna continue, right?
Yeah.
The floor is yours. Go.
there's no point beating a dead donkey. Do you know what I mean?
Wow, not even a dead horse.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm not saying
You don't get
yeah.
animal.
No, he put donkey in there.
Not
on
even a
purpose.
Grand National team. Like Margate. Margate.
It's cool. Next fixture.
People are called Freds, eh? Anyway, so yeah, let's start with Forrest Arsenal. I mean, we said when we were doing all the weekly results and looking ahead, we said if you're playing a team that needs a result at the end of the season, you better turn up. And I hadn't done the calculations, I hadn't done the machinations. I didn't realize that 3 points there meant Forrest are safe, and that that's enough. I reckon my man even need to do a team talk.
It's a game of wills, isn't it? At that point, it's whose will is stronger, right? Or do we want to stay up, or do we want to take this title race to the final day? You know? And I just feel like Nottingham clearly wanted it more than Arsenal. But that being said, Arsenal have looked tired. I watched that performance, and even the mistake from Ødegaard when he passed the back pass, he just looked so lazy with it, and I think that moment there, for me, kind of summed up Arsenal's performance in the running. You lot just look tired. I mean, Keats talked about Saka's minutes this season, but I saw a table, I should have put in the group. I saw a table of like the combined minutes of like you lot's key players. And everyone had like a lot of minutes, like way more than they really should have.
That's an interesting point. Someone mentioned it in a WhatsApp group that I'm in. But then he brought some other stats to bring some perspective. So I'm going to come back to that. With other players who similar age to Saka, similar sort of importance. And he hasn't played as many minutes as we think. But, compared to those guys, what those guys had to do at that age, right? Which lends to something else about him. But, I mean, I didn't watch the game. I've only seen clips. From a Forest point of view, to your point, it's about wills. They might not have the quality all over the pitch, etc. But they've been through a bit of a rollercoaster season. They had their mad patch where you thought my man was gonna go. He didn't. When everyone else was falling like dominoes around him, they stuck with him. They kind of had to. How many players did he sign? 27?
It was a lot.
It was
But
like baby Chelsea.
They had
right?
to sign a lot of players because the team they came up with was a lot of loans and contracts running out.
Frankenstein team.
That
Yeah,
many
so-
players though? A
Yeah,
lot,
no,
and then there was that many.
Yeah, no, it was pretty much they had to start again.
Yeah,
so
fair.
I know everyone's like, oh, they signed so many players. They had to, or they wouldn't
Yeah,
have had a full
and they
squad,
signed more in Jan. I mean, Kelly Navas looks like that was an inspired one. You know, as a keeper, he brought a level to that team. I'm not gonna lie. I will need when I've seen him play. I'm like, you was at Liverpool? Was he a Liverpool player or Liverpool interested in the striker?
No, he's at
He came
Liverpool.
through the academy.
Yeah, came through. And then we.
I'll be honest. When I've seen him play at times, I'm like, which Liverpool though? Is it like,
Yeah,
you know, like
terrible.
there's FC United of Manchester or something? I was like, did he play for that Liverpool team?
He never touched first team though.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I think
recently,
he came in around the time Shea Ojo. It was Ojo.
Yeah.
And,
But we had quite a decent youth team then.
Yeah.
And like he was quite prolific in our youth team. There's a lot of
he was.
talk about him.
But in the last few games, he's just come alive.
He was.
He's been a real unit. He's scored
Juju blood.
some crucial goals. But balls like that, sometimes it just sticks for you. You need the confidence. Maybe he's a confidence player. But the chap I've seen in the last few games compared to what I've seen all season,
Gibbs White.
it's like two different players. Gibbs White, you called him out, Keith. You tried to act like I said he was rubbish, which I didn't, but go on.
You slightly did.
Slightly did.
No, I
Slightly
didn't.
did.
No, I didn't. I
You
just
slightly
said,
questioned his ability.
no. Listen, guys will understand what I'm saying. What I said was the plaudits they're giving, man. I said, yeah, he's played well, but let's not forget where he's doing it. That's all I said. They were like, oh yeah, he's
I
someone
totally
Newcastle
agree.
should buy.
Totally agree
blah,
with
blah,
that.
blah, blah, blah. I'm like, yeah, fine. But he was at Wolves. It's
Yeah.
not like Wolves is Man United. He didn't do it necessarily there. Fine, you're getting more game time and you're the centerpiece. Well done, you're doing well.
Yeah.
But this man is saying, I think if you said that Newcastle should look at him, and I said, cool, but let's just remember where he's doing it. That's what I was saying.
What, so
I
you're
was
saying where he's doing it as in because he's doing it at Nottingham Forest?
yeah, so
Yeah,
it's
but
good.
you can only play against the teams that you play against each week.
I repeat, he's
Not bad.
doing well.
Yeah.
But
But isn't there the flip
I'm
side?
going to Champions League. I'm just saying, let's temper where this season should now take him. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
That's what I'm saying.
but you also get the flip side of he performing well in a struggling
Yeah,
team
100%.
consistently.
Which is why he probably earned a move to a team that is not worrying about relegation from August. But as a team that's going to the Champions League, I would just say that might be.
That's
I don't know
too
if he's
far.
done enough that actually he's going to go there.
Yeah. It was a brave move from him. To move from Wolves
Yeah.
to Nottingham Forest. Now Nottingham Forest could go down.
Mm-hmm.
I think he had a bit of a falling out at Wolves. So
Okay.
that was part of the reason
Because he wasn't playing, was he?
why he went. Yeah, he wasn't happy with his game time.
And also,
So,
Cooper was the manager of the under-17s when England won the World Cup, and Gibbs White was
And
the
he was a
captain.
key
So
part of
they-
that
yeah, so they've got a good relationship, and I know Cooper really wanted him at that time in August. So it all
Question.
kind of worked together. So.
Question: who's the better player? Longstaff.
Mm.
Put them in order: Longstaff,
Yeah.
Willock,
Yes.
and Gibbs White.
Boy.
I think it's out of Willock and Gibbs
Oh, but-
White.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I'm
No disrespect, long stuff, but hold that.
Okay, so if they're taking Longstaff
Yeah.
along with them to Champions League,
Yeah, but it's not. He's there. Would they buy Longstaff now
Here's
to
the
go in the Champions League
here's the
season?
problem.
He's already
Right.
there.
You
They're not
can't
going to
have-
dash him out the window.
You can't have Willock and Gibbs White.
you can't.
You can't.
You can, but maybe
No.
not starting together. But you can in the same
That's
squad.
why I'm saying. That's
Yeah.
why I'm saying you can't have
You
them.
can have them in the
because
same squad, but not
they're
starting.
both. Willock's a starter. Gibbs White, in my eyes, is a starter.
Mm.
One of them's gonna have to hold bench.
I'm not sure Willock's a starter though.
No, Willock's
What,
a
over
starter.
Gibbs
What
White?
you mean next season? Or?
Yeah, next season. I don't know.
Depends who
if
they
he's a
bring in.
starter.
I think he'll
Depends
start
who they
there. He will start as a starter,
Mm.
and then as the season progresses, they'll see. Because what he's done this season, what he did in the season they bought him, I think Eddie Howe seems to say you've earned that, and he's come up clutch this season for them.
Yeah, no, he's played well. He's
Yeah.
had a good season.
I'm interested to see how he does in Champions League. I'm not gonna lie. I'm interested to see how a lot of these players do in the Champions League.
Yeah.
Super interesting.
I think they'll bring in a few key players. But we'll-
Attackers.
yeah, because Champions League is a different kettle of fish.
As we
I'm
tried to
sorry.
tell our mate, he wasn't having it. Of course, you're going to Champions League. You need to upgrade in certain
Different
areas.
kettle of fish.
So,
man.
but
No,
let's
I
not-
think they'll
let's-
struggle though. I think they'll
But
struggle.
let's kind of get back to that. So Nottingham Forest, you're safe, well done. Excuse me. You're safe, well done. The mad cap strategy, you have to say, has paid off, even though one could argue most of the players you played are not the ones that you side, largely.
No, I couldn't believe. I saw Lingard on the sideline.
Yeah,
he's on
yeah.
like 200k and he's done nothing.
No, but he's been
for a
injured. He's been injured. He's been
Is he
injured for a long
injured?
time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
been
Oh,
injured,
okay.
yeah.
And then when you come back from injury, rightly so, people are playing well. So you don't get in the team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
But apparently he's been great around the dressing room, great with certain players. He's been there, done that. Lingard, apparently.
You can see
Yeah,
what
he's
Lingard,
supposed to be-
Lingard's like a feel-good character in it.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, not even just that. They're
Yeah.
saying even on the people looked at it because you've played in certain games. You've played in big games that some of these guys haven't played in. He's played FA Cup finals. He's done all of that.
Wasn't he on a 1-year contract?
Yeah,
Wasn't
it's
he
a
a
1 year.
contract? 200k, something like that.
Yeah, it was.
So they
silly
tell
money.
us. Sometimes when they quote those figures, and that's one to ask my mate when he comes. I think that some people will take the entire value, all the bonuses, dash it in the bowl, and then slice the cake, but per week. So it won't surprise me that was all these bonuses if they stay up. You know them ones, etc.
It's usually the salary and achievable bonuses, though, right? Rather than the ones that aren't
exactly.
They wouldn't keep him though, and you can't see him staying there.
Again, one of the questions I'm gonna have for Liam when he comes back. If I was him, I would have said, yeah, if we stay up, there's a 1 year that's triggered. That's what I was saying.
Yeah, calm.
Because if we go down, you're gonna cut my wages in half.
Yeah.
Cool. But if we stay up, I want another year. And maybe even in a less rate, but I want another year, bro. That, hey. But fair enough. So Arsenal.
So, to the Arsenal fans, were you surprised that the kind of change in formation or personnel that
I was.
Arteta played?
Because I heard what was going on in the week.
In terms of what? Sorry.
People injuries, people couldn't train,
Oh, okay.
etc., etc. So I was like, there already isn't enough depth. And you know me, I'm Arteta's biggest fan. I knew the Tinkerman part of his brain will come out and it will start doing diagrams on the board.
Did Tierney not train?
Um,
Because Tierney came on, so he was probably...
he said there were players that couldn't train during the week, and some players only trained half an hour the day before the game.
That couldn't have been Tierney, because there's no point. Why would he bring him on at that point? You might as well have started him.
He might have been forced to. Maybe what he's for wasn't working. So
that squad he started just shouted to me, "You've given up. You don't."
Yeah.
You. I mean, all the fans see it as well. There's not really any.
I don't agree because his personality so far has shown me that I don't want to say ego in a negative way, but he's a guy that wants to win. So if he's put that out, he's saying we've tried something in training. If you not do your job at the level I expect, we should win this game.
So I'm not saying he didn't want to win because that team he put out, even though it was, for want of a better word, shambolic.
Yeah,
we should have still won the game.
Yeah,
I'm being serious. We should have still won the game. We could have played. We could have played Jesus. We could have played Jesus left back, and we should still have won the game. This is my point. But no, it's true though.
Still have one.
More respect.
In terms of team for team, man for man.
So you say
on
on
paper, we should be winning.
But
the
you got
game.
to put it into context as well. Like John said, if they win the game, they stay up.
Yeah.
It's their last home game of the season.
They just wanted them all.
Like watching it on TV, the crowd didn't stop for like the whole 90 minutes. It was like, even like when they were just winning tackles in their own half.
It's a hard stadium to play.
They were just like,
and we've seen it in previous seasons, right?
Yeah, lost there in the FA Cup last year.
We've seen it in previous seasons.
But in regards to the game, though, I'm surprised at the reaction that there's been such a big reaction in certain circles.
Why?
Because for me, it was for Arsenal, it's a dead game.
This is
the
what
league
we
was
do,
over,
bro. This is what
the league was over.
I say it's all fans here, but Arsenal fans were known for this. This is what we do.
But they had nothing to play for. Like when I watched that game, I wasn't angry or upset or sad or anything. I was just like, the season done.
And it's a lot. It was a long technicality, but you could have still technically won the league if you won that game. So you can't say it was a dead rubber because in the unlikely circumstances, I'm saying it's very unlikely, but you can't say it's a dead rubber when if you win and then the unthinkable happens.
No, I see the pragmatic way you're looking at it, but let's separate two things, yeah? Let's separate what winning that game would have done for the title race and just you're playing Nottingham Forest, one of the teams battling for relegation. You're one of the best league teams in the league this season. You're expected to win that game. Do you understand?
Yeah, I hear that.
So I think that's that. Then those two conflate. So people mix the two, and then you get the combustion that you're talking about. That's what I think anyway. Because if we had played someone in the top 6, so even if that was a Newcastle game and we lost that 1-0, I don't think you get the reaction that you get. Do you understand? But it's Forest, and then City have won the league without even having to beat Chelsea. That's the icing on the cake. That's the fuel on the fire.
In that sense that you've just handed it to them, fine. But they were going to win anyway. They were going to win. But they were going to win. They needed the point. All they needed was a point out of 3 games.
But you'd rather make them work for it.
You make them work for it, but at the end of the day, it's the same thing. Bro, I can't really. I'm not going to knock them because they lost to Forest when the league's finished.
I'd rather watch them win on the league and cheer because they've won the league rather than sitting in a bar and then watching and cheering because Arsenal just lost. That's just my
No.
I think it's the same.
I want to win every
difference.
game. I want to beat certain teams. What I'm more concerned about is how we lose games, etc. I wasn't that annoyed. I was a little bit irritated that they could do watch party on Zoom and celebrate winning the league without putting a kit on, right? But with a squad of that depth, I mean the bench for the City game, and in the end they only beat them 1-0, right?
Yeah, but
only they're all over them. That was a flash.
And they had
It looked like it was going to be a 9-0 game. Don't get me wrong.
The scoreline didn't matter.
No.
It was 1-0, 10-0. It didn't matter.
And I think personally, again, it's hypotheticals. If we had beat Forrest and there were still mathematicals, they would have gone there and steamrolled.
Yeah, it would have been 6. It would have
been straight pep ball.
Stronger team. Innit?
So okay. So then, indicatively, then some of the things people are saying. So the conversation has now turned within fans. Is okay. Arsenal, what do you need next season? I've had one particular Liverpool fan tell me that this was it. You're not going to be back to 6th next season. You're not going to buy enough players. Rare. And then when I asked him, it was almost like Isaac had his phone, to be honest.
Can I just ask, was that the same Liverpool fan from last week that you kept mentioning but not mentioning?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, that conversation's carried on. I've not engaged because I'm just leaving him to it. Me and him will talk after when the transfer window closes, innit? But then his thing is, so I said, who's going to challenge Man City next season? Of course, he said Liverpool.
Of course.
Right?
That's what
And I said, is anyone else going to be close? He said no.
Of course.
He said it's just going to be Liverpool and City the way it's been.
I think
Arsenal.
There'll be a few teams in the mix.
And that's what I said, allow it. Because he to him, he was just, the way it's been Arsenal and Man City this season, it's just going to be Liverpool and Man City next season.
No.
I said, all right.
So
do you think it's indicative, the tail off, is it indicative of what Arsenal needs to fix? Or is it just a thing of it's been a long season, these kids are young, and it will just go again?
So what I would say is that
Or both.
everyone knew Arsenal's goals at the start of the season, which was top 4. Yeah. So you kind of look at Arteta and Edu said, the squad we have now is a top 4 squad. Where you've overachieved and effectively challenged for the title as long as you did, the players that you go for now, have those players got to be accelerated in terms of you've got to sign players who can potentially get you to challenging for the league again.
100%.
So where he would have been like, okay, next season we can say, right, we want to like maintain top 4, but now you've kind of accelerated things. Your quality of signings have got to be so much better than what they projected to be last year, if that makes sense. How do you navigate that?
So there's a gap there, right? To your point, they've over-exceeded. So therefore, rather than saying the 3-year plan might have been, all right, hit top 4, look at this crop of players, stay in top 4, look at this crop of players, challenge for the title, right? Whereas they've just gone bing, bing, and just gone straight to year 3. So now you've got to scrap the in-between, reevaluate, and then maybe go for those players.
And you haven't even had the 3 years to accumulate the Champions League money.
And that's what I was saying. The financials,
the financials, the experience, for like you said, for key players, because Saka's young, Ødegaard's young, ASR's young. All of your key players are young, so you ain't had that in between time to grow and get used to that pressure. So yeah, I think the summer will be very interesting. I don't necessarily think I don't necessarily think the tail off is indicative of what will happen next season.
Okay.
I think it's an eye opener.
And I think it puts a bit of pressure on them as well.
Yeah, more
from the fans rather than inside the club, because obviously clubs planning it like you can be ahead of your timescale. That happens.
Yeah.
But I think and it's not a slight at Arsenal, but Arsenal fans are very expectant, and I think that can be very detrimental to kind of the whole being of the club at times. And I think because you've done so well, your fans are going to be like, we need this level caliber of players. When not that they don't want to come to Arsenal, but it just might not be right.
I want to drill into that caliber thing in a minute, because what we would normally say is caliber and quality, I think is slightly different these days. And not even that expectant fans thing. I think actually in this era, if your team has done anything in the last 8 to 9 years, the fans, that's it, you're finished. That's it.
Yeah.
Literally. Like, and a few managers have called it out where they're getting beat. And I was like, hold on. What? Because we won FA Cup last year? Because we did this? You lot are now. Everyone relax here. That was the first trophy in 30 or whatever, you know. But yeah, that's gone. You were.
No, just in regards to the plans.
Yeah.
My personal view, you don't change the plan. If your plan was the 5-year plan, and all right, you've got to level 3 instead of being on level 2, I don't think you can skip the levels because the plan and the structure of the plan is like that for a certain reason. And if you try and skip certain phases of it, then you might find it crumbles because you haven't got the foundations. So with, as you say, they've overachieved this season. Even if they take a little bit step back, I don't know whether you can jump to City right now. I don't know, because if you jump, you need to take your eye off the ball of the other teams. You're going to have the Liverpools, they're going to be back, the Chelseas, the Man Uniteds or whatever, they're going to be back. So we can't just think, oh, it's only City we need to catch. We still need to make sure that we're ahead of everyone else as well before we start trying to go to a next level.
Mark, what do you think?
Like trying to aim for Man City, that will still have us ahead of the pack that's chasing us. The Liverpool's, Chelsea's, Man United's, etc. So yes, I hear your point in terms of not jumping a step, but we didn't expect to be challenging for the Premiership this year. Now that we're in the Champions League and we want to try and maintain challenging for the Premiership, I think we need to buy that next caliber of player. So in my opinion, I think we should jump a step. So whatever step we was at, maybe a step 3, whatever, we should go straight to step 5.
So I think that's his point is true. But to what Isaac said is, I think what it is that player you were thinking you were going to be able to buy at step 4, you try and buy them now to maintain your top 4. Do you know what I mean? You can still use better ingredients and bake the same cake, right? So I think that's actually where it comes together. But to your point, what is that next quality of player? I want to get into this. What is that? And you know why I'm getting to the conversation. What is that next quality of player? Because all football fans have got this thing, but when you've got managers like Klopp, Guardiola, Arteta, you know, a lot of these system managers, I think that changes a little bit. And when you look at some of the players Pepper signed, is not necessarily headlines. So obviously you don't know every player in the world, but there will be ideals. Give me a mold.
There'll be ideals. So for example, there's a player like
so pick an area that you think that we need to improve.
Area. Centre mid. Centre mid for sure.
Okay, go on.
Okay, let me pick a few. Centre mid.
Yeah.
Centre back.
Yep.
Right back.
Yep. So pick one of those areas and give me a player that you think is improved quality.
Centre mid. Zubimendi centre mid.
One more time for me, brother.
Zubimendi.
Oh.
Plays for Real Sociedad. One more time.
Would he be a starter? Would he be a starter though?
I think so.
I'm still
100%.
confused.
What, he was starting?
You never heard of this player before?
Who?
Zubimendi.
Nah, he's trying to get
Spanish.
He's trying to get
No,
you
it's
real
definitely
in so you can
Zubimendi.
get the same
No,
treatment he got.
It's definitely Zubimendi.
So
He plays for Sociedad.
Yeah.
So Real Sociedad.
Well, they've been talking a lot about him in Spain, and it seems that when he plays at the new camp, he turns up.
Listen,
And Xavi's been talking about him in press conferences.
he is an amazing player.
So I think Barcelona, because he's not going to be super expensive.
He's
not
got a
gonna be
release
crazy.
clause. He's got a release clause as well.
Yeah, okay, understood. Yeah,
For me, Zubimendi fits the mold of an Arteta player.
yeah, okay.
I think Zubimendi is the kind of player that Arteta felt Vieira would turn out to be.
Yes.
He may turn out to be that. I don't know. But for me right now, Vieira needs to probably go on loan. But we need that kind of player because the way we play football, right, we keep the ball, retention,
Yes.
and then we just, spray it to the left
Incisive,
wing.
yeah.
So what would his role be in that midfield? So you've got Ødegaard, Partey. Let's say Xhaka's gone. So you've got Ødegaard and Partey are your starters, DM and Cam or whatever.
What I'm going to say is going to be very, very controversial, but his role in that team would be the Xhaka role. And then hopefully get Rice in and take Thomas Partey out. I've had enough.
I think it's the other way around. But I think the guy on the coaching badges. But I think that Arteta wants to interpret. He wants to be able to change that. He wants to be able to do that stuff because that's what his tutelage was in a team where we're like, we've got this players that can do this. Can we try this here? Can we do that there? But you've gone in the direction I thought. If you're gonna start naming some like up here players, I was gonna be like, see, this is what I mean because for these guys, it's about who can execute in my system. At a certain level. And that's not always going for the biggest name, And even some of the young Chelsea players some of the young players at Chelsea, but I wasn't clued up on it. It was you that was telling me, look, that brother is good. He plays in this system, that system, etc. So yeah, when you say high quality, I think for me, Arteta and Edu have to go out and get the kind of youngsters who have played enough first team games
exactly.
in a decent league, and I kind of thought about some of the next best crop, and we can now play in that pool. Going to go and get an established Champions League player, I think then that breaks the financial bank.
Depends how many.
I think we need that though. I think we need that as well.
At least one.
I think we need. I think you need some.
One marquee.
Yeah, you do need
But
a
that's
marquee.
skipping the plan.
You have to.
Skipping the plan though.
Not necessarily, not one marquee. I think to get in Champions League, to get
Give me an
one.
example. Because again, look at the reason why I'm saying, if you look at recent people who have made that transition, even if you look at Liverpool, when you bought players like Van Dijk, man was paying for potential. People said he was gonna be that guy. He wasn't that guy yet, so that's why he paid that money. Even Alisson, people are like, he's gonna be that guy. If you had to go and buy a Alisson or Van Dijk now, what are you paying?
But I think Arsenal's tried with like the Vlahovic, Rafinha. That's the kind of player that I'm talking about.
Marquee signers.
I think they would be marquee.
I think Vlahovic.
Yeah, that's the
definitely.
marquee signing.
Well, Vlahovic is like what I'm talking about. He was making a name. He wasn't there yet. If we had Champions League football, I reckon we would have got him. So that's the kind of guy I want them to sign now. Who's the Vlahovic?
I think he wanted to stay in it at least, but I hear your point. We would have had.
So that's a perfect example. He wasn't the guy yet. People are saying, "No, you're doing it at Fiorentina. Now go to a team and be that guy."
Yeah.
He hasn't for various reasons, and now a lot of those reasons are being proved right as of a few hours ago. But that's the kind of player. But I think if we try and go down the path of getting, I don't know, I'm going to use a mad example. I don't know, A Pogba, say he's gone, he hasn't quite done well, but he'll cost you arm and a leg, and he's amazing. I don't necessarily that's the route we should go down. I think we should try and get whoever's
the flow.
Whoever's this season's Vlahovic, whoever's the next Zubimendi, who like the guy is it Diaby at Leverkusen?
Yeah,
the winger. It's those kind of. I'm glad we've been linked with those kind of players.
I think he's going to.
And not.
I think he's going to.
And not the
superstars.
Yeah, and not necessarily the superstars.
Would you want someone like a Bellingham? Something like that would be amazing.
But that would be classed as a marquee signing.
I wouldn't. Do you know the reason I wouldn't want Bellingham? Because I think that restricts the other signings we can make. I think that if you
financially, you mean?
Yeah, if you sign a Bellingham, Eddie has now got this left to play with. Instead of maybe signing someone here, then this. And
but what's the difference between? So let's say you signed Rice.
Yeah.
Doesn't that disrupt the flow as well?
Same thing.
No, I don't think so. Because
the prices ain't that much.
I think they're in the
from my understanding, I think you're 20, 30 million apart. Because we're not competing with Real Madrid for Bellingham, for Declan Rice, bro.
But you think Rice is 20 million less than Bellingham?
Yeah, I think so.
Not that much
20
money
million is not a lot in that world.
Bro,
not that much money in the grand
20 million, 30 million is a lot of money.
It's a lot of money, but in terms of football transfer fees,
that's a lot of money. That's the money. And we always think about the transfer fee. There's wages as well. If I save 30 million on you, that's wages I can spend elsewhere.
It's true.
It's a lot of money. And also, we're not going to the table. I reckon we're competing with probably a lot of people in England. I don't think Declan Rice is going abroad. He doesn't strike me as one of those guys. I reckon Chelsea pick up the phone, maybe Liverpool, but I don't see him fitting.
I don't think Chelsea are buying anyone.
They're buying. They are.
Poch won't come in and just be like, right, I'll take. That was
they're buying a striker.
So if Poch is the guy that comes in,
they're buying.
Like marquee signings,
bro.
Another 200 mil minimum.
Okay.
Minimum.
Less than 250.
Aubameyang's gone.
Yeah.
Inter came out today
gone.
and said they want to keep Lukaku.
Inter said they want to keep him.
Yeah.
Okay, so if they'll negotiate a deal to keep him
for that.
but they'll try and negotiate some
another
deal.
loan or something.
Yeah, probably another loan. Okay, that's 3 players out the door. Probably send Gallagher on loan, maybe. Adam Brower back from injury. Keep him.
Armando,
Armando.
Silva will be gone.
Thiago,
Silva's gone.
Yeah, but then they brought in. All right, so if Silva goes,
I think Chelsea will buy a 9. I think they have to.
They have to. Okay,
they have to go out.
I'll amend my statement. They won't buy anyone other than a striker. So maybe a marquee striker. But I don't think they're gonna go in the market and just go and scatter.
You're working with like pragmatic logic, bro. Yeah. You need to throw that out the window with this business. I'm a new manager. I'm Pochettino. You sort me out. We've spent 8-9 weeks sorting this out. Do not be surprised if they go out. I won't be surprised they spend another 250 million this window.
I won't be surprised if they're the top spending team in the summer. I wouldn't even, if they went 300, 400, I wouldn't be surprised.
Because even their low manager, his phone must have been hot from February the 1st.
Yeah.
The Chelsea low manager's phone must have been, because if I'm a team in the Prem right now coming up, there's certain players that aren't playing every week. I want him in my team next season. I want him to help me out. Their players are going to be sprinkled all over. Do you remember at one point it was like every team in the league had a Man United player on loan? It's going to be like that again, but with Chelsea.
I think Mount's going as well. That's another one.
People are saying Liverpool.
Arsenal or Liverpool. Arsenal or Liverpool.
Well, grapevine. I'm hearing on a grapevine sources, you know, ketchup and mayonnaise and that. But I'm hearing Mount's not. Arsenal's not happening. It's a no-goer. But people are wrong, right?
I couldn't see it.
People are saying it's a Liverpool thing.
I don't want to see it for Liverpool or Arsenal.
No, Arsenal. I couldn't see
I couldn't see it for Liverpool. I don't want him at Arsenal.
I don't see us paying the money he wants. That's one of the reasons he's leaving Chelsea. They're not giving him the money he wants.
Like, if he came, it'd be a bit like Ox. Like, when we signed Ox, I was like, really? And then prior to his knee injury, Ox was like, he done well. Like,
no, Ox was solid.
Don't look at me like that.
For how long?
Ox was a good
For
player.
how long, man?
5 games.
He got
No, long enough.
He got injured in
It was months, bro.
No, long enough. Longer than that.
No, he got injured in the quarterfinal v Roma in the Champions League. So from the start of the season till
I just said it was months, and the man said no.
I didn't say no, but you're talking like it was like 2 months. Obviously, that's the majority of the season,
Listen,
bro.
I love Ox and all of that, but that deal didn't work out for you. Mount will not be another Ox. Based on his injury record so far.
Based on his injury
I don't see the hype, but I speak to my brother as a coach, and he tells me coaches like him because without the ball, he does everything he's supposed to do to the millimeter.
So I think it's
and
like
that's great, thing. But what about with the ball?
If he does sign, I think Klopp and the scouting team would have done enough due diligence to be like, he's coming in to do X, Y, Z for us.
Yeah.
So if he does sign, I'd be like, he's signed.
Well, it's going to be a midfield job because our front options are...
like we've got 5 attacking options.
We're sorted up front.
Jota, Diaz.
So I don't know. Maybe he comes in to do the 10 role. Or do you know what I mean?
I think he comes in to do the 8.
Yeah, it's more than 8.
Yeah, I think Arsenal or Liverpool he's going to do.
He'll be coming there to do the 8. I don't think...
We've got Curtis Jones. We've got Thiago.
Yeah, that's what he wants. He wants the depth. He wants the depth.
Yeah, we need it. Like,
and I think your committee's going to dash Thiago soon. I'm not going to lie. I won't be surprised if you're because you got that transfer structure in it where Klopp might want something, but the club say, nah, actually, that's not best.
You know what's sorry, Milner said that Klopp wanted to keep him.
Yeah.
Swear.
Wow. And the club was like, nah.
No.
He was on the pitch interview.
People are mocking Klopp. Again, I got to love a fan, brother. He hates Klopp, you know. Bro, if Klopp was out tomorrow, he'd be like, facts, hold it. Brother, he hates. I'll show the messages after.
But I think Klopp would have kept him as a player coach more this season rather than...
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, so
if I'm Klopp...
And he's someone who's impactful around the dressing room. Like, when he's been injured and like... a couple of years ago when we had to play that really youthful team against Aston Villa in the cup when everyone was...
and everyone
he stayed behind and he was like... He went to the game and he was like... So he's that kind of person behind the scenes, innit? So...
Bro, I think managers get stick for that stuff, but I can understand, and even more so in the transitionary period, right? If you want to now get the team back to where it was, I can understand why if you're Klopp, you want someone like Desmond. He's a fantastic example. I mean, every year I hear that he's one of the fittest people in pre-season. The guy gets older, so I can imagine having him around and just saying to him, bro, you might literally, you just come and play games when I need someone to not be an idiot in the 89th minute, and we'll see out that game. And he would have probably done that. But anyway, he's kind of moving on. So that's interesting. I think Arsenal, by all accounts, will make some significant signings in midfield and in defence. I hope we increase the goals up front, but I'm not as wedded to a central killer 9 as I was before. I actually think if you just get more players who play in the front 3 that can score, because if you took Saka and Martinelli out of our team now, the goals dry out massively. Nelson, whoever else there, they don't score goals. You don't even have to bring Pepe back because as much as he was rubbish, he scored 10, 11 goals a season, right? So I think if they buy other wingers, they buy DRB, etc., that will just contribute more goals, which I think is where Arteta will go anyway, because again, that's kind of his coaching ideology. Then I'm happy. I don't care. If you buy another striker that can challenge Saka, another winger that can challenge Saka, etc., I'm not going to be disappointed that the window closes and we haven't signed like a Vlahovic or a Tony.
I was of that opinion probably throughout the majority of the season.
Oh yeah, no Tony.
But now we need a number 9. I'm not a fan of Jesus being the main number 9.
Okay, cool. Quickly, last word on this.
Last word on Arsenal. I just hope that the fans and everyone just remember how good this season was.
Forget it, bro.
And how great. No. You've got to remember how good this season was.
100%.
For 30 games, they gave us a championship run.
I'm with you.
The end has happened, but we got to remember what they done and As an Arsenal fan, it's been a great season.
I'm just
the
thankful.
moments that we've had this season, Arteta on the team,
100%.
I've got to hand it to him. Big applause.
Well said, and I agree with you. For the first time in a long time, every week I'm not worried about the result. However, it's 2023 and we live in the social media era. So this sentiment, unfortunately, is not the one that we're going to see by and large.
It won't carry.
It's not going to be.
It won't carry.
All right, cool. So moving on, keeping up the relegation theme, we've got Wolves 1, Everton 1. I mean, what was it? 96-minute equaliser?
99. 9.
Yeah, 99.
9 plus 9. Obviously, I know we should be bad, mate, but good. I mean, they just won't go. They just won't go down. So, 97th minute.
I mean, essentially, he's coming in. He's doing his job, right?
Yeah, this is it.
Yeah.
We doubted whether he'd be a firefighter, and he seems to.
He's coming. He's got it. It's in their hands. You know, the way they was going on the Frank. You know, this didn't look possible.
No.
He's coming. They nicked a result against Arsenal. I say nicked. They done a good job to get that, but they kind of faltered after that.
And they've
but then they had that against Brighton, wasn't it? The 5-1. So I think he's done well.
You think he's done a good job?
I think he's done well. I'm not going to say
bro, with what he had.
Exactly, with what he had.
There's a reason why they done that.
He's got a few 1-0 wins along the way that's helped him.
And to be at this point where it's in your hands, rather than hoping that another team does you a favour.
I don't know whether that's so much what he's done. I think it's more what other teams haven't done. I think that it's probably look who they're up against. They're up against Leicester and Leeds. I don't think when have they last won a game? They won 2 or 3 games.
No, I think it's a combination. It's a combination of the two, and the level of Sean That's right. So no disrespect to him, but he was at Burnley. Yeah, I think they got a Europa League one season.
Yeah, got him to Europe.
Go to Europe, etc. So I wasn't coming in and expecting wonders. I just wasn't sure if he was an Allardyce type firefighter, or he was other one they used to draft in Pulis and all them, man. But he's put it in their own hands. They've got Bournemouth last game of the season. Leicester have got West Ham. They're both at home. So Everton's at home. Leicester's at home. It's a proper, it's going to be one of those ones, watching the clock, watching each game, last day of the season vibe. I mean, guys, let's call it. Leicester, West Ham, Everton, Bournemouth. Who's staying up?
And Leeds. You've got to throw Leeds in there.
You know what? In my mind, the Leeds already relegated. Sorry. Leeds have got Spurs at home.
I think they could beat Tottenham.
I thought they were already good.
For Leeds stay up, don't they need both those other two to lose?
Now, they're on the same points as Leicester.
Yeah.
Oh, but their goal difference is significantly bad. So, yeah.
I think Everton will stay up. It's a home game at Goodison, like that tight pitch.
Bournemouth are safe.
I think that's the crowd.
What's the gap?
Yeah.
Is it 2-point gap?
2 points.
Yeah, 2-point gap. So Leicester and Leeds are on the same points, 31. Leeds have got a atrocious goal difference compared to Leicester. And then Everton are on 33.
So if Everton draw
and the other two win, Leicester stay up. Leicester stay up.
So
if Everton draw and Leicester win, Leicester stay up.
What if Everton
Leicester's
draw
got
and
the
Leeds
best
win?
goal difference out of all three.
If Everton draw and Leeds win, what happens?
The goal difference is not good enough.
Is it?
Yeah.
Leeds will go down by 3 goals. Well, sorry, depending on the score of the game.
Okay, yeah,
If they match scores, Leeds have got a goal difference of West 3. This is bad.
Yeah, I think Everton will stay up.
I mean, let's look at their squad. The Everton squad
That he inherited.
Yeah, they've got good enough players to get a result at Bournemouth. I mean, Bournemouth, okay, they're not playing for anything.
Yeah, they're on the beach a bit now. No disrespect.
No, but that's usually what happens. When you're not playing for anything, it's literally just you're going through the motion in the last game of the season, right? So Everton have got to turn up on job and hope that Bournemouth are already at the nearest airport. So I mean, where were the goals coming from?
They got Calvert-Lewin back now.
Didn't he go off injured?
He's even 100%. That's been a big talking point as well.
I think he is, because Mopé had to come on, didn't he?
I think that McNeil's been scoring a few goals. He was with Dyche at Burnley. He has had an upturn in form.
Tarkowski as well, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's had an upturn in form since Daesh has come in.
Yeah, if they stay
Outside
up,
of that,
they're waiting on Calvert-Lewin's fitness. You know, he came off first half.
No.
I don't know, bro.
they got to sign another striker.
If DCL don't start, regardless of whether he's not been scoring or he has, if he don't start, I'm writing them off.
Well,
I'm writing them off.
You're looking at set pieces. You're looking at Mina.
Exactly.
That
Literally,
that's what you're looking at.
On Saturday, it was Mina, Keane, and the guy you just mentioned.
Tarkowski.
Yeah, they combined to score the goal on Saturday. So
Yeah,
it weren't even a striker.
that's probably their best.
Three
their
centre
best.
backs.
Morpay just on to annoy everybody to death, even the people sitting at home.
So, you know, I that's what I was saying. Like, where are their goals coming from, and what?
It's tricky.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've got certain affinity. So go on.
I was saying it'd be good to see how it plays out.
Look, I've got a certain affinity for some teams in it, and I can't explain it. But me personally, I would like to see Leicester stay up. I'd like to see them stay up. That team. If Everton go down, couldn't care less. Iwobi will get another team.
Oh my days.
No, I just don't have that affinity for them.
So I couldn't care less. It won't be fun another team. Why it will be?
No, but in certain teams,
You got players that you
not
like.
even. Listen, I was one of those fans. I wanted about Arsenal, innit? But I like when players go to another team and they kind of find their feet and they play regular, etc. Like at the end of the day, even if you annoyed me at my club, you're still a person. You still have a career. I want you to do well.
Do you think of the three that go down, do you think Everton fear the worst in terms of the players that they lose? Because they've got, even though their players are not kind of superstars, they've got the most established Premier League players. So do you think a lot of them will be like...
Most of those players are leaving.
That's not really the concern for me, you know, because, bro, they go down, they'll have 100 million. Like, when you get relegated now, you still make 100 million, which is, and then you got the parachute payments and all of that. I think my concern is when they've got a massive debt pile. So I don't know.
Their stadiums being built.
So I don't know. If you're now going to champion in the EFL, they've got different rules around that
sell
stuff.
those players.
Yeah.
You think so? But you think people are coming in for players like Iwobi and that?
Yeah. Iwobi definitely.
McNeil.
Calvert-Lewin.
Keane.
McNeil. Yeah, Mina. They're all
all them. Damari Gray.
Pickford to Tottenham.
Yeah, Pickford's guy.
Yeah, Pickford. But I'm not sure. I don't think they'll lose as many as we think.
I think they can lose 6 or 7, like easily.
Probably more. You stay
I'm not sure.
Bro, if you're a certain team in the Prem, bro, there's certain team in the Prem, I think some of those players would benefit you.
You look at the teams coming up as well. They're going to be looking at those kind of those established Prem players.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly.
And he's signed permanent.
Yeah.
He's 100% getting a move.
But you don't nowadays. You don't think they could go one season in the Championship?
I don't
keep most of their players banking on themselves coming back in,
bro.
Especially with the new stadium coming, banking on themselves to get
guaranteed.
And championship is a madness on your body. Absolute madness on your body. Like 40-something games. Every Monday, every Wednesday. Stop looking at me, man. Every Monday, every Wednesday. I know it's too late. It's gonna get clips.
The team that was bottom in like what? Were Coventry bottom in November?
Crazy.
What? After 10 games.
What a run.
And now they're in the playoff fight.
So certain players, they're not doing that. And I think, and then you get the relegation clause, so the wages get halved generally. Blah blah blah. But some of these men are not accepting. But Yerry Mina,
I think they would come back.
I'm not going from Barca to Everton to
bro.
playing in whatever team on a Wednesday night.
I think you got more chance of the players at Leeds staying because a lot of them were there when they was in the Championship anyway. Then so I think Rodrigo might go. The guy they got from America,
McKennie,
he's on loan, so he's going to go anyway. So I think most of them stay. I think if you look at Leicester, Bar, Maddison,
Harvey Barnes.
I think Barnes might go.
Nonto, they might try to pick. You're talking about.
Leeds.
Nonto might nick a move if Leeds go down. But I think of the 3 teams, I think Everton fair to lose more first team players.
Actually, for me, that FFP thing is because if they trigger some different rules, I heard their debt pile's like 500 million, and in Everton, and in the EFL, their rules are a little bit different. Those kind of sanctions can see you tumbling all the way down.
That's permanent.
I believe so, but I think, but he would be perfect for the Championship. So
you think he's going to be able to bring that squad back up?
Yeah, he's done it before.
With the same squad, I think. I
don't think the same squad, but
let's just say 6 or 7 players go.
But they'll be able to nick.
I think the money they can spend in the championship, as in, it's relative to your league. If you can spend the most in that league, then it will bring you back.
And you're still Everton, innit?
As an Everton fan, you want it to be a Newcastle situation where most of the players stay. They bounce down, bounce straight back up, and carried on.
But I think you can keep players. Yeah, but I think you can keep players. If you look at Fulham went down. Everyone thought Mitrovic would leave. He stayed for 40 goals. They're back in the Prem.
Yeah, but again, I understand your logic. I think if you just look at the players they brought in, and some of these players they brought in the money area, right? The Ancelotti area. So I wouldn't be surprised if wages. So even people on the resurgence, Iwobi, he's had a bit of a resurgence, right? He wants to carry that on. I wouldn't be surprised if he left if another came. The Damari Gray as well was a bit of a forgotten man. They bought him for peanuts, did okay this season. So if you're looking from the individual player point of view, if there's an opportunity for me to stay in the Prem and play, I'm off. But you're right. There's certain people that I think will stay.
And look at the teams coming up as well. Burnley.
Damari Gray and
good manager. Very good
Burnley,
manager. It's not like they don't have the resources to maybe take one or two of the players. Let's say Everton or Leeds go down.
Yeah, that's true.
They have the resources to say, all right, you
and shown they can play good football.
Right. So that's an exciting.
If I'm Crystal Palace, maybe I'll start shopping there as well.
Yeah.
You know, if I might teeth some Everton, a bit of Leeds.
You know, I think it's not
some
as
Southampton.
simple as players just, you know, let's stay and come back up. Well, we'll be back up. We've got a good enough squad.
Yeah, I
think the championship's getting harder now.
That championship is a league that can swallow you up. You go down there,
it's like a black hole.
You go down there and think you're going to be there 1 or 2 years. Everton, 10 years time, they might still be there.
Yeah, League One.
Look how many. Yeah,
and on top of that, they've just signed their new own TV rights still. The clubs are going to get more money.
Yes.
They can keep players. They don't necessarily have to sell players. Oh, this guy's had a good season last season. The Premier League teams come sniffing. No, we're going to keep you. We're going to bring 2 more players in to give us to make us stronger, and we're going to push for the Premier League ourselves.
Yeah.
Boy, interesting. All right, cool. Moving on now. Liverpool 1, Villa 1. Man told me to book it, you know.
That's what I'm saying.
Liverpool at home, Villa. It's nothing.
Yeah, of course. Calm. Like we won 6 on the bounce. Like why would I not?
Like, but I presented the opposite argument to you, and you dismissed it.
No, granted, but that's because we beat them at Villa Park. Like under the same. So
you do want to take the current information into account, Villa's run, all of that kind of stuff. It's just because
they hadn't really. But they'd lost games like leading up to Liverpool. So if you take the run. Like,
I mean, it's all noise, isn't it? All that matters is
you should have enough respect. You should have enough respect.
All that matters is what Bobby scored in his final home game for the club.
Oh, hold on. We'll get to the Bobby tribute show. Let's talk about the game.
The game, Ming should have been sent off for one.
And Gakpo's goal should have stood.
And Gakpo's goal, how that's been. As our resident referee,
ref.
I need
goal.
Come on, Dazzlery.
Why not how it went?
Right. So
I understand the explanation, but if you look at it, I don't understand how they've come to that conclusion.
So basically, Gakpo's goal was disallowed because Van Dijk was ahead of the play when the ball was headed back, and what they've deemed is that the defender's touch wasn't deliberate. So then that's why it's not taken into account. So it's basically
so it's just like make you onside.
So it's basically just like him.
I don't understand.
Basically, so what they're saying is a defender defending in his box did not make a deliberate touch.
Well, he said
okay,
he's saying it's hit him. Yeah, it can happen.
Yeah,
but it didn't. If you look at it, it didn't. Like he lifted his leg.
No, but it's you lot, so it wasn't deliberate.
So it's just
did he make a movement towards the ball?
Yeah.
That should be enough then.
So basically he was running back towards the goal and kind of lifted his leg up.
In a hope to do something.
Yeah. Exactly. And then it went back.
As much as you lot are annoying, come on, man.
Yeah, if it's deliberate.
As much as you
if it's deliberate, it's one of them ones where it could have gone either way. Yeah. To be fair, it could have gone either way. Yeah. It's one of those 50-50 calls.
Yeah, but I mean, they've asked the ref to go over to make his own judgment call. And in situations like that, where you're ruling out a goal because the ref's gone, because it's not a letter of the law thing.
Yeah,
it's an interpretation thing.
It's an interpretation thing. So we've lost a goal on an interpretation.
This is my problem because let's say, hypothetically, that's the goal that decides if you're in the Champions League or out of the Champions League. That's, bruv, it's crazy.
But like it happens to every team, innit? Like it's just one of those things you got to take on the chin.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So forget the team. That's what I'm saying. Forget what team it is. we need to just get away from that.
Yeah.
And I don't even mind if a rule is really, really arbitrary. I'll give a really bad example. If it hits your hand, it's handball, right? Which isn't fair because there's loads of... But a rule like that, I wouldn't mind because we all know what it is.
Yeah.
And that's why.
And if I'm a ref, that makes my life easy.
I don't like this interpretation stuff.
Yeah,
Or discretion.
I understand why it's there, but it's hard.
It should be letter
hard.
of the law.
Yeah.
Listen, if it hits you and he's onside. I don't care if it's intentional or not. The letter of the law is if it hits you, they're onside.
Like I like the whole handball thing now, where if your arms are by your side, it's not handball. That's clear. There's no interpretation, nothing. Your hands are by your side, it's handball. If your arms are out here, even if it's accidental or not, sorry, bro. Why is your arm up here? You can't explain it. It's handball.
Yeah,
Done.
there you go.
And I like the way they got to with that, but it's just gonna take.
There's always going to be judgment calls in football, unfortunately.
Yeah,
you got to
I
think, even an everyday foul, it's a judgment call.
But that's the
Only
part.
offside is going to be matter of fact.
Yeah.
Everything else is a judgment call. And with judgment calls, you're going to get some people
But
that agree, some people that don't agree. So
There's still guidelines, right? So there's a judgment call. So let's say a player comes from behind, right? The guideline is you can't tackle from behind.
But we've got a guideline with the offside. If it's intentional, then it's off,
Yeah, but
then it's offside.
you
If it's
can't-
not,
yeah,
that's the guideline.
But that's my point. As I think
How do you
we'll never get to black and white for everything. But I think if we can get as far into the rules as
possible.
yeah, because I think we're quite all right with fouls these days. I'm not gonna lie, I don't often see many fouls and be like, "Oh, you got that totally wrong." I think we've got to a decent point with fouls.
There are some dubious ones.
No, they are, but a lot less than unless I'm old in it. But
I mean, yeah, a lot less than before. But
that tackling from behind thing cleared up so much.
That
That just took out.
Exactly. That's the point.
Yeah.
They just said straight up and down. You can't tackle from
I don't care
there.
if you get the ball.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Yeah.
You
Done.
just can't do it.
My man can't see you coming. It's dangerous. Done.
So I can if you got ref, you tackled from behind. End of done. If the ball hits, if I kick the ball, it hits Keat and it comes to you, and then the ref goes, "No, he's offside." Well, what rule? There's no rule to say. Well, if it hits, they go, "Oh, it's intent." How do you judge intent? Because like the Keat, it looks like there was intent, but.
What I don't like,
get rid of interpretation as much as possible.
What I don't like about that rule, it's just that it's alright to have that rule in the Premiership, but rules of football go down all the levels.
Yeah.
How do you on a Sunday morning? How are you gonna know if it's intent or not? And you haven't got you ain't got a screen to go over and look at it 5 times. That's what I don't like about that.
More time you haven't even got a line.
yeah, exactly. Or you got a club line. Oh yeah, it's his bait. He's bait.
You got liners like me that didn't want to move. Yeah, man, he's offside.
He didn't mean that, ref. He didn't mean that touch.
That was jokes, people. If you can see me on the line on a Sunday, I'm honest, innit? Yeah. All right, cool.
Yeah.
All right, so that means Champions League really. Man United only 1 point to secure.
Yeah,
so Champions League,
So
you needed a win to keep
Newcastle
pressure.
just drawn with Leicester, so they're in.
Is that finished 0-0?
Was that 0-0?
0-0.
Yeah.
So yeah, we need Man United to lose 2 games. We need to win.
Which
Can't
I
really see it
don't think
happening.
is happening.
Yeah,
Who they got next?
Chelsea and
someone at home.
I love. You know what's so funny? It's a weird digression, but the way now, you see when someone says they play Chelsea,
Yeah.
we don't respect them at
It's
all.
done.
Back in the day, that's one of the games you'd be like, now we're like, they play Chelsea. Okay, all right.
Yeah, my only gripe is that we played so well leading up to that Villa game, and
Chelsea
then
and Fulham.
we were very flat in the first half against Villa, and it's just slightly annoying.
Yeah,
Oi,
you know what?
look.
Now you're saying
Chelsea
Oi,
might be in
Oi,
it.
Oi, you know?
Chelsea, next in the
It
point.
could still happen for Liverpool, you know?
Fulham might be out.
I'm not even banning. I'm being serious. It could still
If I'm
happen. you know?
Mitro, I'm on smoke.
Are
bro.
both games at home?
Yeah,
That-
yeah,
both
Both of them
games
at
at Old
home.
Trafford.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
Both games
But they only need 1 point
Yeah.
now, don't they?
Okay.
Yeah,
Man United.
one out of
Yeah,
2 games.
so I can see. I can't see Chelsea beating them. I could see Fulham beating them because Man United's attack is pretty blunt right
And
now.
if I'm Mitrovic,
But they're getting
But
the 1 point out of those 2 games.
Oh, payback.
That's the problem.
Payback.
But you got to remember, Fulham are one of them teams not paying for anything. They might be on the beach. Man United at Old Trafford gonna need the point.
Yeah, 1 point out of 2 games. Nah, but if Man United don't get that, bruv.
Maybe I'm just thinking how I would do it. But if I'm Mitro and that Fulham team,
Yeah,
I'm on smoke.
Let everybody know.
You
Listen,
know, like how Brighton got it back
this is
in
the
blood.
revenge game. Let everybody know.
Fulham, I'm praying you lot do the same thing.
It's true.
You'll be dumb. Chelsea can't win that game.
And then for,
Hey,
and then
it's
for
not a
Villa,
foregone conclusion, bro.
But
It's not a foregone
and then
conclusion.
Villa, that leaves them what, 7th? 7th for a game to go. I mean, Brighton still got a game in hand against City. They're a point ahead of Spurs. So if they win their game, do they get Europa Conference? No, they don't actually.
No, yeah, if
Who
Villa
got Brighton?
win, if Villa win, then the last game they get conference.
How many
is it?
spots for the conference though? Because Liverpool are Europa now, 5th. Brighton will be 6th.
5th and 6th the league and 7th conference.
Oh, okay, fine.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's between... That's it. So it's between Villa and Spurs for Europa Conference League.
And
Come on,
Brentford.
Villa.
Brentford could do it as well.
Oh wow.
Brentford need Tottenham and Villa to lose.
So what? Are Brighton 30 for Europa League?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
They
First
got
time
him in hand.
That's brilliant.
Yeah.
They
That's
beat
brilliant.
Southampton 3-1.
That is
Yeah.
brilliant for them.
Yeah,
For
fantastic,
this
man.
club that's had to be in Europe. That's an excellent
Yeah, 3
achievement.
points
Yeah,
ahead.
massively.
You know, if they get...
Anyway, listen, can we get back to Salute?
Yeah, sorry. Okay, so
Bobby, Firmino.
We done that
What a
a
legend.
couple pods ago, man.
Nah, I don't care. We're doing it again.
Mark's not here for it.
What a legend.
I watched the compilation today,
Listen,
and listen, people need to put respect on his name, bro.
listen.
That guy is
one
cold,
of the
you know.
He
most
is, bro.
He's
one of
cold.
the most cleverest, I don't care if it's not a word, but one of the most
Intelligent.
intelligent, smooth, just beautiful players to watch. He was he was the link. Allow it, man. I'm in my zone. He was that link. He was that link. Without him, as we saw many occasions, our attack our style of football just didn't.
But people that respect that.
flow properly.
I've still got a man telling me about his goal record and that.
But here's the thing, and it's to your point about Martinelli and Saka, right? It didn't matter that he didn't score tons of goals, and to be honest, I don't necessarily feel like that was his job. And to be honest, he never was a goal scorer like that. Even if you look at his Hoffenheim days, he allowed Mane and Salah to be those guys, the goal scorers, because that's where our goals came from, right?
Mate.
Salah's numbers were through the roof. Mane scored, and to be honest, I mean, if you line up all three of their stats, Firmino still got his fair share.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, he did.
He still got his fair share.
And the assists in the Champions League, goals in the Champions League.
He's quality.
That compilation,
Quality, man.
I saw that compilation of him with the back flicks to Salah.
Oh, man.
Oh, beautiful stuff. The one against Newcastle, the one against Southampton.
He won against Arsenal as well, didn't he? I remember
I can't remember if he did.
No, the guy's a baller, man. And I think
he was an absolute
when I
pleasure
see
to watch.
Liverpool fans lament that he hasn't scored X amount of goals, etc., it just becomes such a stats thing. But if you watch him play and watch what he did in those seasons where Liverpool were on City's neck, you know, back-to-back Champions League finals, all of that stuff, Firmino was crucial to that.
Yeah, in the
Absolutely
pocket,
crucial.
spraying the ball,
Literally the link between.
Yeah, I think it's very
when Coutinho left, we needed that person that could drop in and provide that creativity, provide that vision, the passes, and he done that wonderfully.
And I think it's interesting how Klopp ended up using him, right? Because obviously the game had kind of changed. You know, everyone was telling us people like Firmino like to float around. There wasn't really a space for them anymore in a team that presses, blah, blah, blah. And Klopp found a solution where actually he kind of had a front two by proxy. Because, you know, when you guys had the ball, he would drop in and them two would kind of come in like that. Mm-hmm. So, no, I've not really heard anyone talk about it, but the way Klopp used Firmino was fantastic and, you know, slightly a stroke of genius, if you ask me.
Yeah, he was a brilliant player. And he just silky touch.
Wow.
He just kind of player, whenever he got the ball, he just looked like he was in total control. He knew where everyone was. He's taken a look before he's received it. And brilliant player. Goal record, you can't really bring that up. For a player like him, for all the other things that he was doing.
Yeah.
I think the only thing that really was a shame was maybe his fitness record. He had a few injuries and that would stop him in his tracks. But other than that, when he was on the pitch, absolute class player.
Yeah,
and even if you take goal involvements, I think their stats would look better.
Yeah,
you know, if you take his goal and if you sprinkle his assist in, I reckon then you're probably looking at a closer ratio of 1 in 2 for the games he played. I reckon his goals don't do him justice.
Question, and I mean no disrespect.
He still scored more than
usually when
strikers,
someone says that, they mean disrespect, but I don't mean disrespect. If we're praising Firmino for his style of play and what he brought to the team,
oh god,
what am I going to say?
No,
Jesus. Not Jesus. No. Emil Heskey.
Everyone gives it. I know. That's mad left.
It's left.
That is so far left.
Man, push the mic away.
Emil Heskey. Everyone, but when does Emil Heskey never get his credit?
But facts, am I wrong though?
Yes.
If we're gonna give Firmino.
Heskey gets his credit.
Are you
man.
sure?
Yeah,
100%.
Liverpool fans.
This is the
For
first I'm
Liverpool
hearing
and
of
England.
this.
For Liverpool and
Let's
England.
be clear.
For
Alright, cool.
the water carrying that Heskey done for Orange,
Yeah, he was.
he gets his credit.
Alright,
You
cool.
don't give him credit.
Why do you think he was in the England
Conversations that
squad?
I've had,
Why
Heskey
do you
does
think
not get credit.
Why do you think he was in the England squad so
No,
many
but
times?
he's in the England squad because he merited it. But I don't think
this.
I don't.
No, but how did we get from
I don't think
a
Heskey
man
got
of
his credit,
technical ability of
I'm just
Roberto
I'm just
Firmino
saying, innit?
to Emil Heskey?
It's different techniques, but same style of player, essentially.
No, it's not.
Heskey was vital, bro. Vital for Liverpool and England. If Owen was in that squad, Heskey was right there with him.
Big up Heskey, man.
No, big up
That
Heskey.
is
Listen,
wild.
anyone that has a Prem career like that, big him up. Same with Dinky Wells, all of you. But bruv, we need to stop putting people next to each other like that, bro. How can you do that? You see the way Firmino plays?
It's new eras. I'm
See
just
the way he
saying,
floats around the pitch?
one should get respected, the others get
And I was
respect.
just about to say, the thing for me with players like Firmino is they do the basics at a high level 99 times out of 100.
Yeah.
His touch was always
Yeah.
mad. His awareness was always high.
Yeah.
He always selected the right pass, etc.
Little cheeky
And then,
nutmeg.
man, just telling me about Heskey.
No, I mean no disrespect, seriously. I'm just saying, I'm comparing. You can't compare because different
I
eras. innit?
understand. You weren't talking about the style of
But
play.
exactly.
It was
Contribution
the
to the
role,
team.
The
the
unsung
role in
hero.
the team.
Exactly. Yeah.
I get what he's saying.
See,
In
But
terms
it was left field.
in terms of comparison, the Jesus one is one that I'll look at.
no.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah,
you were about to say,
it would have been
That's
closer.
where I
It
thought
would
you
have
was
been
going.
closer.
That's where I thought
feel
you was
like-
going as
I
well.
feel like
That's
the
where I
reason
thought.
why- The reason why,
But-
if you compared them, why people would look down on the Jesus on Jesus is because Saka and Martinelli don't score enough.
But I think that's because Jesus lacks a little bit of what Firmino had in terms of the creativity.
Because all right, maybe he lacks in the creativity, but he makes up for it by trying to at least go for goal, right?
Yeah.
He's. I think if you stood the two of them together, Firmino's more pass first, whereas Jesus is more shoot first, right?
But that doesn't show in their goal scoring record. I agree with you. But that's why
I would
I
argue.
think that Jesus should be scoring more goals if he's more shoot first
Yeah.
rather than pass first.
Yeah. I even just an eye test piece, I think you're right. That comparison isn't too mad. I just feel like Firmino executed at a higher level more often. The passing, what he did in the final third, he actually achieved what he wanted to do more often than Jesus is doing at the moment. But yeah, it's probably one to look at the stats actually. And I'd love to see how many big chances Firmino created, how many big chances Jesus created, because that's the only way to justify his headless chicken thing.
But you know what's mad as well? Jesus always started over Firmino for Brazil.
Yeah.
But I think that was because at the time he was at City in a squad where under Pep, and when he was coming on as a striker, not in this.
And I think at that
false
time,
role.
that's a really good point. I think at that time, Brazil's the way they played changed. It was a little bit more European, speed, more direct.
Was it under
Yeah.
Chichi?
Yeah. And having Neymar and Firmino in the same kind of attacking setup is a luxury they probably
Because
can
to be
afford.
fair, everyone was expecting Bobby to go to the World Cup
Yeah.
based on his form in the run-up, innit?
And if I'm gonna have Neymar walking around not defending, I need Jesus to do all the running.
Yeah.
he didn't even play that much.
But
No,
you got to think
Richarlison,
Richarlison starts
Richarlison,
now.
yeah.
Yeah, ahead of
so-
Jesus.
So, and that's why those guys, when Neymar's in the team, that's why those guys have to play because they'll do all the running.
Yeah.
They'll do all the running and the fighting.
And yeah, Firmino needs players going beyond him. He needs runners.
So Villa, from where Emery picked them up, now they're gonna have a European season.
Great job.
Yeah, very good.
Great job. The team has progressed. Some of the players that were kind of getting panned under the previous manager playing well. Some would argue people like Mings, etc., should be back on Gareth's radar.
Oh, no way.
Well, no, wait. We might say that from a overall point of view, but in terms of performance, if the England team was about who's playing well, I'm not saying he should be picked, but he should be on the radar. That's the conversation. Tyrone Mings, because of how he's played recently, etc. I'm not a fan personally.
Why not?
Big him up. His form
His
has
form's been
improved.
different, bro.
No, he should have been sent off.
Drastically.
He should have been sent off.
he should have been sent off.
One game,
Barring
bro.
the sending off, though.
His form has improved, but I don't want that guy anywhere near England squad.
Yeah, no, look, I'm not Tyrone Mings' biggest fan. I'm just saying,
That is wild, man.
bro, the team's played well. He's been a big part of why the team has played well.
But
They've
Southgate
defended
looks
well.
at Connor Cody, so why not have Mings in the squad?
Bro, Harry Maguire still plays.
There you go.
Harry Maguire.
Yeah, he meant to be getting called up, innit?
Yeah.
I'd rather Maguire over Mings.
There's certain positions
Still,
where the lack of quality.
The way he's been playing the last 18 months.
I'd rather Maguire over Mings.
Bring Tyrone still. No. Okay, I think another managerial change. We didn't touch on Wolves as well, because that was a managerial change as well, and that's worked out. And I think the general conjecture is generally managerial changes don't work, or they don't improve too much. But we've seen a few this season for once that actually 2 or 3 have worked and worked pretty well. Fulham 2, Crystal Palace 2. Did anyone see this game? Anyone watch this game?
No.
Saw the highlights.
Yeah.
Your boy Edouard scored a screamer.
Oh, no.
It's like whenever we mention someone,
Bro,
gives bookies bet on them to score.
I think if you're on a goal scoring patch, just DM us in it. We'll drop you a mention, and then next week you'll do a madness.
I tried to tell you that, man.
What did you try to tell us?
Someone tried to say no disrespect in the Scottish League, and I said, bro, that's disrespect.
I think it was me still.
Was it you? I'm sure it was Isaac.
That's a dead
sure it
league.
was Isaac.
That's a dead league.
Wow.
Deadly.
Scottish league.
You're saying it's deadly?
No, it's dead league.
Oh,
Yeah.
Rah.
So Ward, Mitrovic, 2 goals.
Mitrovic 2. Eze got an assist for that. Edouard got. Who scored Palace's first one? I can't remember.
Joe Ward.
Yeah, Joe
No,
Ward.
Edward scored the first, then Joe Ward scored.
Yeah.
So again, another inconsequential game. But we're Palace now. Palace are up to 11th, Fulham are 10th. But
Yeah,
the
but
split
to be
in
fair-
table is massive. So Fulham at 10th with 52 points. Crystal Palace 11th with 44 points. 8-point gap. That's
But
a
them two
real
finishing in the top 10.
Where's Chelsea in that?
12th, I think.
Chelsea are 12th on 43 points, bro.
I think that's a good season for them.
That's poor, man.
Hey, Fulham.
Yeah, Fulham and Palace,
great
to be
job.
fair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially when your main talisman is. Well, how long was he banned for? 8 games?
8 games.
Yeah.
And he's come back and scored in both games he's returned in.
Yeah, he feels like he owes the team, right? It feels like he
does owe them.
let them down.
He'll make out to them if he
And to be
beats
fair,
Man.
like, I didn't think he would do this well.
Yeah,
this
I agree.
year.
Yeah, same.
Like, you
Mitrovic
mentioned,
or Fulham?
when they went
Mitrovic.
Mitrovic. When they went down, he stayed, scored 40 goals,
Mm.
and I was like, that's his level, innit?
Yeah.
Kind of thing. But yeah, he's come up and he
done well.
proved a lot of people wrong.
He was like
He's one of
Haaland in
them.
the championship. He was.
Hey, don't do that, man. That's like, you hear that, man?
But to be fair, 40 goals in the championship shouldn't be sniffed at. You know?
No, it's not a joke. It's not a joke. That's in that league. No, it's not.
Well,
A joke.
yeah, I think it's too late for him to kick on.
Well, I was about to
think
ask:
Fulham-
are they at risk of losing him? Are they at risk of losing him? Do you see anyone
Nah, I think
sniffing around?
He's Fulham.
Not in
I
the
think,
Prem.
I think that's why he stayed.
Yeah, I think
Mm.
he
Because
knows
I don't think anyone really had
Yeah.
decent interest in him.
he's a solid international. Probably on a decent wage.
As long as Fulham stay in the Prem,
Yeah.
he's comfy.
yeah,
Why would you leave?
I mean,
He's
how
still
old
young
is
as
he?
well,
Let
isn't
me
it? Right? So he's still got.
I think he's about 28.
He's 28.
Yeah. Where are you going? Where are you going at this?
Yeah, I think he stays there.
Yeah, unless he goes abroad. Let's go abroad.
I won't be
That's about
surprised
it.
if we see a rumor that Arteta's looking at Mitrovic. But for one of those teams now, every week there's going to be a player. There's going to be
Not
something.
Mitrovic though.
Would you be mad if he turned up?
No,
I would.
I wouldn't be.
I wouldn't be mad.
I wouldn't be.
I would.
Change it up sometimes though. I wouldn't be.
Bro,
Bad.
he brings stuff we don't have.
Or fighting.
No.
No,
We've got
red
the fighting.
cards,
It's
red
just the
cards.
fighting.
Real talk, yes. When we were most successful is when we had people that could do that. Bruv, as much as we banter you lot and whatever, if I play against Paul and I get into a Barney, I know Van Dijk's coming over to try it, innit? Every time there's a madness. You need those kind of people on our team. Bruv, you play against Arsenal, all right, fine. Apart from Gabriel, you turn around. The guy who's giving you lips probably shorter than you. So well, I won't be surprised if you want some of that aggression up front. It's not going to happen. I just wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, I just think he won't suit the style.
Yeah.
Mitrovic needs serve. He needs crosses in service and stuff like
Yeah.
that.
And why
So,
would you leave Fulham when you're playing every week in the Prem to come to Arsenal and maybe not be a star?
No, but we do cross the ball in though. When it
We
gets
cross the ball in a lot.
when it gets like the last 10 minutes. No. But hear me out though. The wingers don't they cut back and try like launch it to the far
So
post?
you leaving Fulham to come and play for 10 minutes every week?
No, but I'm not saying necessarily the last 10 minutes. But
Yeah.
it does happen.
And if you watch, I mean, I watched him a few times this season and he plays with the ball to his feet more than I thought.
yeah.
Like
exactly.
he's pivotal in their build up and their forward.
Yeah.
Like he'll hold it, pass it off
Yeah.
and spin.
Yeah,
It's like,
yeah. He's very good at moving laterally up front, picking up the ball at different parts of the box. So he's pretty good at that. Okay, so yeah, well done. And then Roy, we've already given Roy his flowers. I've already apologized to Mr. Parrish. My bad, innit? Sorry. However, in the week, he put himself back in the other side of the books. Apparently, they've offered Wilfried Zaha a very juicy contract. The reports say, they've offered him 200 grand a week to be the best paid player in Palace history. Now, again, as I said earlier, these things are often exaggerated. Forget what the number is. Whatever they offer him will probably put him in that field of being Palace's highest paid player. What do you think of that strategy from Crystal Palace? I will save my opinions to last.
So I think it's come more from him rather than Palace. Because his contract's up.
Yeah.
And I think he kind of knows, we kind of debated about where he could go. His big move has gone in it. He should have left maybe a year or two ago.
Yeah.
And I think he's okay, I want to stay. And they're going to keep a player of that ilk.
Yeah.
So you've got to pay him the money, innit? I think it.
And the
goes hand in hand.
argument is we don't have to pay. If we went out and bought a player to replace him,
exactly,
it would cost us X amount of million, da 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 da. Not that I agree with that, but go on, Des.
My opinion on that is, for them, I think it makes sense because going out and buying, not only the money, could they attract someone of Zaha's quality? I'm not sure Palace could. I don't know if they could go into the market and buy someone as good as Zaha. So on that standpoint, I would say, yeah, you've got him there.
They're reminding me of Spurs and Kane, but yeah.
I think they need to let him go, man.
They need to let him go.
Bruv, 100%.
I think it's a case of when Henry was still out hanging around at Arsenal.
Bruv.
And as soon as he left, what happened? Bear man stepped into their roles.
Yeah.
They became big time players. Van Persie took over. Fabregas became a big name. Whoever else was there, they all stepped up. So I think it's a case of we need to remove that security blanket that is Zaha and just say, right, Eze, Elise, Edward, Mateta, you man need to step
And he's 31
up.
this year, if I remember correctly, right? So when do you move on from him? And apparently it's not even like a 1 or 2 year contract, it's like a 3 or 4 year deal. So when do you move on from him? And to your point, I don't even necessarily think it needs to be a big move, but I think it works the other way as well. Someone of Zaha's quality has a lot to offer teams who are fighting for a bit more than Palace. I think if you're in the Europa League, if you're further up the table, Zaha can bring things to your team. And there's teams abroad. Now, obviously, he might not want to do that. If I'm Zaha and that rumour is true, it's 200 grand a week, brother, from Zaha's point of view, sign that. Sign that.
But you say that, but you said, what, they're 11th, you say? Or 10th?
Yeah.
So the gap between the 6, because he's not going to go to a top 6 team.
No.
Essentially.
Yeah.
And then so it's the gap of the teams he could go to is very small. So you're looking at Villa, Brighton.
Assuming he's staying in this country.
Yeah. But yeah.
So you got Villa, Brighton. I don't think you need Palace to go Brentford, but
So I think he's seen that and been like, if I can get the 200 bags here,
yeah.
Why am I going to leave?
No.
And try and get it elsewhere where he might not even get that.
What about the other team's perspective of these teams, Brightons, etc., Villas?
Yeah.
Would you go for him? I wouldn't go for him.
No,
I wouldn't go for him. That's the thing.
You're disrupting what you.
Brentford.
He's a disruptor. At this stage, he's a disruptor because he's all right. He's 31. He's got a certain.
Well, he's 30 now. I think he's 31 later this year.
Cool.
Yeah,
he's got a certain style of play. If your team doesn't play to accommodate his style, you're bringing him in and you're going to disrupt your system. A lot of these teams, Brighton definitely have a system. I'm assuming Unai Emery does. I mean, he's got certain players and he plays certain players in certain.
He was a fan of Zaha though. He wanted Zaha instead of Pepe at Arsenal.
Who?
Emery.
Yeah, okay, but
I think Zaha works.
I was going to say yeah.
That was
at
then.
Arsenal as well.
That was at Arsenal. That was then.
But I think Zaha works in this Aston Villa though. In this Emery's current Aston Villa.
I agree. I think it works, but the same reasons he would want to go there might be the same reasons they wouldn't buy him. They're being progressive with their signings. They're trying to, go for younger players with a bit of resale value, etc., etc. But if you were Zaha, you said you picked those teams. It's not that different to Palace. But if you look at the trajectory of the clubs, like Villa have investment, you can go and join that forward wave. The Brentfords, they're going in a certain direction. One of the reasons Palace were where they were, now seems evident was the manager. But also the level of investment there, you could argue that their league position now is outperforming the level of investment in that team.
Yeah, very true.
Right?
Does Zaha come into your squad and play the role of provider?
What, a Villa?
I think he should.
Yes.
I think that Zaha should go, if he's going to go,
Yeah.
I don't think he has to go somewhere where he's going to be a bona fide starter.
Mm.
I don't see
He's not
someone
gonna
like, I think he should be a squad player. He could be
Why
a squad
not?
player.
He's still a star.
He's not going to happen.
Yeah.
Bro, I'll be
He's
honest with you.
still a star.
If Zaha...
Like, he's a star at Crystal Palace, but if you're going up,
Yeah.
then you're not a star
Zaha's
no
not
more.
going somewhere he's
You're
not
not,
starting.
you're not a star no more.
The other angle to that is I think if Zaha goes to Villa and performed and had the output we think he should have, he's a starter.
Yeah, facts.
Remember we had this question before. I said if someone on fire, who are you picking? Leon Bailey or Zaha? If they're both playing at the at the top of the game, you're picking Zaha.
You don't think so? Nah, you're taking a look.
I felt the look. I didn't even say it. I felt it. I was like, what's that
Taking a
draft?
look.
Yeah. We said, and I like Leon Bailey. I think he's good.
All right. Again, for me, it all depends on the style of football you play. If I don't have a solid attacking option up front,
Yeah.
and I play with wingers, and I need my wingers to be, stars, then cool, I'll take Zaha. But in a system where I've got a star striker who provides, and I need to give him service, I'm picking Leon Bailey.
So are you? So if you got Watkins and you got Zaha, what are you doing? Who are you starting?
Watkins, bro.
Well, it's not one or the other. Zaha plays
Zaha go out the wing.
on the left.
But he's not going to
4-3-3.
he's not going to be providing for Watkins. That's your point, basically. If Zaha goes on the wing, Watkins is going to suffer because Zaha's going to be looking for himself and not looking to feed Watkins.
Zaha fees more than we let on, I don't know where this
even
is
me,
all-
I'm a hard Zaha critic, but I don't know, man. I my critique of Zaha is a little bit Harry Kane-esque. I think he could have, for some of his ability, as I said, I don't think I can name 5 wingers, and since he's been in the Prem, wingers who are better players, like ability-wise than Zaha. I can't name 5.
Which is great, but let me put it to you like this. For Ivory Coast, Max Gradle starts ahead of Zaha, right? Number 1. Number 2, he's been so used to being the man at Palace for so long. He went to Man United, it didn't work, right? After being the star for Palace. Remember that the playoff run where him and Balassi were on smoke, right?
Yeah.
But United
Do you
were
remember?
his fault.
Do you remember that? Right?
Problems.
No, fair enough. It wasn't his fault. But he's gone there to play out on the wing and be a provider. It's not worked, right? Fair enough. They were off the pitch stories and whatever happened, whatever. But it did for whatever reason it didn't work. He's gone back to Palace and he's been the man.
Yeah.
Palace have not really had a decent striker for him to work off of.
That's what I was,
right? So he's always been the man. He's always been the guy to pick it and drag them forward.
But is that why he's not been providing them? Because is there been anyone at Palace to provide? Is that anyone of any decent quality?
And I think so maybe, not of his own doing, but he's been so used to being the man to pick him out of that to now put him in a system where he has to drop down and be provider and working and contribute and work in the system. At this age,
And
where
I'm
a
not-
man's
I think
just
he'll
looking
suffer.
for his
I think
money
he'll
to just
suffer.
enjoy
Yeah.
ball.
And I'm not sure if Villa pay. If I'm Zaha, I'm not sure if Villa pay me the money I want as well.
Oh, you're getting him for free. Why not?
Huh?
You're getting him for free. Why not?
Yeah, but again, it's the whole wage structure thing. And you hear players talk about it now. We think it doesn't matter, but you hear players talk about it now when they're retired. Oh, I was on this and he was on that, and then it starts to bring up. So he might be on a free for an accountant. It might work, but I don't know if they want to bring Zaha there and I don't know, paying 150, 180 a week. I don't think that they want to do that at Villa. Plus, I don't know
If there's not a need for him, they won't pay him.
Yeah, exactly.
If they need him or they think they want, if they
And
want
that's
him
the thing,
because
no
they
one in
think
the
they need
Prem
him,
needs Zaha.
they're gonna
Like,
offer him that money.
And that's not a slight on him. I don't think anyone in the Prem.
I think if you went to Villa,
anyone
do well.
that in
I think
Europe
so.
and above, I don't think there's a
So, Don, what do you say? If you went to where?
I think if he went to Villa, he'd do well. I think Emery's the kind of manager that if he goes to Villa and he plays and he kept playing, he'd do well. Because Emery's the kind of manager, if he doesn't care, but you could be his own son, bro. If you're not doing the thing,
Who are their current wingers? I think I saw you looking just now. Who are their current wingers? Aston Villa.
They don't
They've got-
necessarily play with wingers.
yeah.
They
It's-
play Bentia.
Yeah.
And Bailey.
Oh, so they play like 3 behind the strikers. I've got 2
Yeah.
behind the
So
strikers.
they play. If sometimes they'll line up in a 4-4-2. It'll be Watkins and Buendia up top, and it'd be Bailey, Ramsey, McGinn, and Douglas Luiz in the middle.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that will usually, Watkins in the middle, Bailey out wide, Buendia on the other side.
So they
But
have to
current
change.
commentary suggests that Emery actually is targeting another wide, like another forward to play as a bit of a front three or another striker. So it's suggesting that might be because of what he's got now. But if he had another winger, he might do Bailey, Watkins, and someone else, and then Ramsey kind of in behind probably. So it'd be interesting to see.
I would like him to leave.
Same.
Because when he had the Man United move, when he went back to Palace, I don't ever think he would have thought he was going to be back at Palace this long. Again. He probably will go back there 2-3 years, get my feet back, and then I'll get another.
And
chance.
I think Palace priced him out a little bit.
It's never come.
I think that time that he was supposed to be the big move. I think Palace priced him out a little bit, if I'm honest. And that was probably his last chance at that big move, wasn't it? Instead of him, Pepe coming, it was.
Both need to move on. Palace need to get rid of him.
I agree.
For their own good and their squad. And Zaha needs to move on.
And from a fan point of view, I want to see Zaha at a club that's, aiming a bit higher. He's going to,
Well, it'll be good. It'll find him out. We'll get to find out whether he is the player that we thought he was. Basically.
Exactly. Right, so Man United 1, Bournemouth 0. I mean, they kind of laboured through this game as I understand it, but it just means that the risk of you lot nicking that Champions League spot is
minimal now.
Yeah, minimal now. They need 1 point from the last 2, as we discussed earlier.
Yeah, so Ten Hag said he needs them to be more ruthless.
Yeah.
He said it's all well and good getting the lead, but he said they need to kill off games more.
No, I agree. I mean, they scored in the 9th minute and then...
Yeah.
It was a really good goal, to be fair. Casemiro.
Yeah, it was.
And that sort of
Bournemouth had chances. Yeah, De Gea pulled off a few good saves.
Good saves. Some really good saves.
De Gea made some saves.
Yeah, some really good ones. He actually looked like the Gea of...
Golden Gloves, 17
Oh, yeah.
That's mad, That's nearly half the games in the season.
Yes.
They've had clean sheets.
You see where you see stuff like that? That's what you do in football.
It's madness.
You got to take it... When you're talking football, you got to take into account everything because they do not strike me intuitively. They don't feel as a team that's kept 17 clean sheets in the Premier season. Right? And they say defense wins titles, but they're nowhere near it. You know what I mean? So it's interesting.
So I think Ten Hag's on the right trajectory, to be honest. I think once he gets his full squad of what he wants, they'll be not a problem, but
they'll be closer to where they were before.
Do you think Maguire leaves this season?
Say that again?
Do you think Maguire leaves this summer?
Who's buying him?
Same question. That's what I was about to say. Who's buying him?
It's the same question again.
That is shocking, man.
So all right, cool. Then moving on to the Tottenham Hotspur 1, Brentford 3. So Harry Kane scored.
Oh, what a goal as well.
Bro. I was at the game, innit?
Oh.
Everyone was like, free kick. Oh. Just mad.
What a goal.
It was crazy.
What a goal.
And it's funny to see them play, and even when the lineup was announced, we were all looking at each other like, it's a bit of a crazy 11. And they were all over Brentford first half. Right? All over Brentford first half, and I thought, okay, everyone was giving it the usual take. Oh, there's no Tony, blah, 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 etc., etc. But it didn't seem super convincing. They were still making mistakes and all of that. There were a few bright spots. I need to find Danjuma and Basuma, they played well.
All right,
Yeah, Danjuma's good.
Danjuma's a good player.
Basuma started to look like Brighton Basuma. He was doing well. And you could see things that actually, whoever the new manager is, he's got bits here to work with. Do you know what I mean? Cool. Half-time. Come out half-time. Before I blink, Mbeumo, that finish.
You got to big up Frank though. Like he brought on the guy they signed from Norway, I think. Damsgaard, who came on. And he kind of just changed the game. Like Tottenham just gave him loads of space and he was able to just dictate the play. And that was just like the change in the game. So we got Frank on that.
No, agreed. And the finish, Mbeumo's finished, both of them. Quality. That guy's good, you know.
Did Davison finish the game? Davison Sanchez?
Good question.
So I follow a Spurs fan on Twitter, and before the game, he tweeted exactly what would happen. He done the players to score. He done time, but the times were off. He was like Harry Kane first half.
He did.
Mbeumo to score 2 and Wissa to score the third.
I hope he bet. Did he bet?
I don't think so. But like, it's just indicative of what we've been saying is that Harry Kane will score.
Yeah.
You don't know the result, and more often than not, late.
Yeah. But the third goal, Wissa's goal, epitomised the whole issue, right? People not doing what they're supposed to be doing. They get caught near the box, and then Brentford were ruthless.
Yeah.
That was kind of the story.
It come from Tottenham's own throwing.
Yeah,
their own throwing that
Shocking.
they conceded the goal from. Just I know we've got this running thing with Harry Kane on the pods. Is there a chance that you get a little bit of what you said with Zaha? If you remove Kane from Tottenham, do that once that has
100%.
gone, do other players step up? Do the
You think that makes them
Richarlison,
100%.
they take on more responsibility? They take on more responsibility.
I don't know.
I think what Dazzy said is not about making it better immediately, but it just allows you to move on from the Harry Kane machine, right? Everything that comes with it, right?
Stale.
And almost reliance on him.
That's almost
like
like saying he's part of the reason. He's part of the problem. I don't think he is.
No, but you don't have to be the part.
He's not part of the problem, but you could be part of the solution.
But exactly.
Two separate things.
True.
You know?
True.
But
even Harry Kane this season,
and even from a money point of view, even just from a financial point of view, what you're going to sell him for and relieving him off the wage bill, it might allow you to do certain things. And it looks like they're bringing in, Ten Hag V2. The manager's just won the league in Holland. Apparently, he's the guy to come in, long-term project, etc., etc. Yes, any manager that comes in, you want to play like Harry Kane in your team. But all of this, is he staying, is he not staying, all of that, actually, it might be time for them to just respawn, build on the Danjumas, the Basumas, these guys, and build it from there and get a coaching. No disrespect Ryan Mason, but of course, blind.
Listen, all good things must come to an end.
no, right? I agree. I agree.
The style of play where he drops in and the players run off him, listen, it just looks like it's run its course, right? That flourished under Pochettino. Pochettino's gone. They've had new managers come in. These new systems have not worked. Maybe the players or whatever. It's time to just let him go. Say, all right, look, let's get his wages off the books. Use those wages to maybe reinvest in someone else or bring other young talent through. Do you know what I mean? So, I think it's time that he goes.
I think they go backwards.
This summer, they need to let him go.
I think they go backwards sharply before they go forwards after he leaves.
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
I think with a new manager, if this Arne Slot comes in, he's going to come with his own ideology. Maybe if he comes in sooner rather than later, he's got a window to bring in one or two players. More than likely, probably someone will come. So one or two will come from Feyenoord.
But
if he's smart, I come in and say, right, let Harry Kane go, bring in one of the strikers.
But you're saying they don't go backwards. He's a 40-goal contribution.
That's what I'm saying.
Wait, hold on.
Go backwards from
But I would liken it to
go back from 8th, really?
what you were saying
They
earlier
haven't
on.
always been 8th, though, innit? Like we said, if Conte was still there, they wouldn't be in the position that they are now.
Yeah,
True.
So
you can only go off of where they are now.
no, that is true. But I'm saying, like, even if you take Kane out, we know there's not many strikers out there that are going to score or give you a 40-goal contribution.
I might not need him 40 striker, a goal to a striker to come in and give 40 goals. Kane might leave, and that might mean Son picks up.
Son ain't staying in the King.
I agree with that. I agree with that.
I agree.
Kane might step out the picture. That means everyone else has to step up.
Yeah, I don't see it happening.
I agree. I would liken it to what you said earlier on about Henry leaving Arsenal.
Yeah.
Then other people, they have to take on more responsibility. Kane might go, Son might get an extra 10 to 15 goals. Richarlison, he scored one this season. Richarlison gets another 10 to 15.
You're laughing now, but he's
actually funny.
You're laughing, but he had a World Cup where he couldn't stop scoring.
Yeah, but now he's had a Premiership where he hasn't scored.
Okay, but he's got goals in him.
Yeah, but Mark, at some point, Harry Kane leaves. Bro.
Okay, I'm not saying he doesn't
not going to play
leave.
that till he's 50.
But that's not what I'm
No,
saying.
you're saying he leaves, but the levels drop before
I'm
they
not
get
saying
down.
he shouldn't
I don't
leave.
think so.
He should leave, but I just think they go backwards quite sharply before they go forwards without Harry Kane.
So why
No, I
is
don't
that?
think
Is that because of
his goal? You can't replace those goals.
So they're too reliant on him.
But
They are, but who are they going to come? Who's going to come in
So
and
then
score
at
those?
some point you kind of need to remove that reliance.
Yeah, but I'm not saying they're not going to do that, achieve that eventually. I just think the first season when he's not there,
So you think
it's going to be a
big
wait.
if Kane leaves in the summer, they can come lower than 8th next season?
Possibly.
So, but my only thing with what you're saying, Mark, is you're not taking into account what they might do when he leaves. So if you had that opinion after the transfer window is closed and you've seen what they've brought in, cool. But
that's granted.
But I think if you're smart, and we've seen people do this over the years, if you're actually smart with your recruitment, you might not get a striker when he scores 40 goals, but if you have a team playing better and you recruit in the right way, then you never know.
The style of Harry Kane's game,
yeah.
There's been so many goals where Harry Kane has picked up the ball in the middle of the park, passed it out to Son or Kulusevski, run into the box, and scored off there. So he's doing his own pre-assist. I can't see anyone else in the Tottenham team being able to.
And that's a problem.
But that's a problem. But that's what I'm saying. Like, he does so much for that team. Taking him out of there, I can't see anyone stepping up.
But that's a problem. No, but then but for that exact reason.
Well, you just asked about
exact reason.
100%.
Take him out, bring in a striker that's going to be in and around the box or be up the furthest man forward. Allow these other players to do their jobs.
And it's the non-football stuff. And it's the non-football stuff.
Listen, I brought you in, Højbjerg, to distribute from the middle. Kane, get out of his space.
Yeah.
I brought my man into.
I thought we're all in agreement. We just don't think it's happening straight.
No, I know, but I guess I get the non-football stuff. The non-football stuff about that as well. So if I'm not a player the stature of Harry Kane, I'm not getting away with coming that deep to do all that stuff every game. Yeah, because between the manager and other players, it's go back up there. Stay up there. But that's a gap in their play. So they should, again, they recruit correctly. They have the players where the system means the right players in the right areas of the pitch are doing that work, and he can stay up there. If and when he moves to a elite team as we expect, he's not doing that, bro. He's not going Man City and doing that. He's not going. And then hopefully elongates his career. Hopefully, so even that alone is a problem to solve.
Because the thing is, he's so much better than anyone else in that team. So if you got someone like Ollie Skip, he's in the middle. He sees Kane next to him. What's he gonna do? He's gonna watch Kane.
Exactly.
He ain't going to do his job.
Exactly.
He's going to think, oh, Harry Kane's right there. Let me give it to him.
Yeah, exactly. So that's a great point.
Yeah.
You look at Harry Kane's right there.
Yeah.
We're not saying he shouldn't leave. We're just saying that if and when he does leave, we think there's a drop off before the progression.
Now, if you said based on their recruitment history, you don't think they're just a problem, and that's why the drop off would be there, then I would have been with you. Yeah. But just by the virtue that it's Harry Kane leaving, I'm not sure. Things may change. But if it's based on the recruitment history, then you're right. Moving on, we've got the 3 games on Sunday. West Ham 3, Leeds 1. I don't think Sam's getting the bonus still. I'm not sure, but
I don't think he's.
We'll see. He got his £5. He £5 on the floor.
So we'll see on the weekend. Leeds just pulled the plug too late, man. They should have done this 4 games beforehand.
Yeah, and
I think they should have left Jesse Marsh in the job, bro.
I think from this guy, I can't remember his name.
I think he had about 4 goals. How many games did he have? How many games did he have? Do you know?
Who, Sam?
No, Garcia.
4?
I think it was more than that.
Yeah,
he didn't have that many.
Sam's had more than 4.
No, not Sam.
Oh. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure. I mean, West Ham, they're safe now. European final. A season I looked like it was going to, dire. Might actually be a decent one. And
does Moyes stay?
Yeah, I think he does. If he brings them their first trophy in however long,
And to be honest, they're the only ones really that stuck with their manager down there.
Yeah.
Well, everyone else made a change except for Nottingham Forest. Everyone else made a change and it's paid off.
And this might sound ruthless, but if I was there, if I was an advisor, if Moyes wins it or not, he's gone for me. In fact, if he if he wins it, for me, if he wins it, even more reason, because then I want to get someone in to take that and run with it.
Actually.
But football clubs never do that.
You don't think he deserves the chance to take them into Europe?
This is my club.
You see this.
Actually, level investment is important as well, right? Because the season before, did they have European football?
Yeah.
No, they done well to get into Europe.
And then they gave him the money. He spent the money.
On who?
Well, he bought Paquetá and a few other players.
Did the Paquetá?
Yeah.
Paquetá.
What I was going to say is, do you think he goes back to kind of his more shrewd ways? Because not every manager is built for spending money in it. So even though they might win the Europa League, the Europa Conference League, to go into the Europa League, doesn't necessarily they have to spend big. If he can go back to his old school ways,
squad depth though.
Yeah, but you can get that without spending
millions
and millions.
You don't change ideologies in one summer, right? So he might just tweak it a bit more. You know, he went almost not full reverse, but he went. Okay, what got him there is not what he continued.
My next question is he good enough to maintain a European challenge and then push them back up to the table?
So when John said, I think he goes if he wins or not.
Yeah, that's what I would do personally. Because my gripe with football is no one ever says. So if you look at any other business, you get to a certain point, you're like, okay, this is good. Let me leverage this and keep going. In football, is only when things are bad do you make a change. or the individual says, "I've got a better job. I'll see you lot later." Whereas sometimes it's no slight on the current individual, but look around you. If I'm West Ham, all these clubs are getting young managers for the future. They're building platforms for the next 5, 6, 7 years. No disrespect to David Moyes, but he's on the other side of that bridge now. So
you're talking about what Abramovich did with Ranieri.
Right.
Finished second.
Yes.
Got to Champions League semi-final.
Cool.
But I know this club can go bigger.
There's this Mourinho guy over there. If I don't get him now, someone else will.
Yeah.
Cheers, Claudio. Hold it.
I hear what you're saying, but just the other side.
They're not going to do it.
With Moyes.
They're not going to do it.
They won't do
would.
it. But with Moyes, when he says they're good enough, I'm thinking West Ham. What do they want to be? I'm thinking they want to be like what Moyes was doing at Everton, in and around 5th, 6th, 7th.
No, they want to be a Champions League club, bro. They want to be a
Champions League. Everyone wants to be a Champions League club.
They just recently onboarded a new investor who has put millions into the club. He's not doing that to be a Europa
League club. If they want to get Champions League, then it's a different conversation.
Yeah,
but I'm thinking West Ham, they want to get to Europe.
Look at their
If they want to
stadium.
get to Europe, it's not good enough.
Who's not good enough? Moyes.
Right
But he
now
was
is not
doing
good
that at Everton.
Was doing that.
But
Right
this
now,
is
season,
now, though.
Yeah, it's a different game
This
now.
season, they pretty much almost got ready.
He might be good enough. He might be. But if I was them personally, I'm looking around the game. The game is changing. Everyone who has done well at the higher end of the game is progressing their club. They have a certain profile of manager.
Yeah.
That's not an accident, right?
You don't give him, what about the credit if he wins a European trophy?
No, this is my issue with football. This
But
credit thing.
He's proven that he can't manage to both.
Yeah.
But he
Because
doesn't.
we can only go off for this season.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have to be a negative thing. It's not even like you haven't done your job. It's a thing of thank
Like
you.
I said.
You've brought me this far,
Mm.
and
You left
actually,
us in a good state.
Yeah.
You're in a good state because you just won a trophy.
yeah.
But
the way
last year,
the way the game
He
is
done
going.
both last year. Last year they came, was it 7th in the league? And they got to the
No,
semi-final
Of what?
of the Europa League.
But what Isaac's saying is that
Did
he's
they?
shown that he
Semi-final.
can't maintain.
Got to semi-final.
They were in Europa last season.
Yeah, they got
Yeah.
the semis.
They got
Yeah,
semi-final.
semis last
Yeah,
season.
so he done both
And they
last
finished
year.
7th.
Yeah, that's how they qualified for the Conference League.
And then that's why
So he done
that's why he
both.
thought, right, I'm gonna be more
Yeah.
expansive. I'm gonna get the Paquetas
Yeah.
and all of that,
No,
etc.
I stand corrected.
Yeah, they done both.
I stand
Strike
corrected.
as
I
well,
thought
yeah.
it was just the league only season.
No, he did that last year. They done both.
Yeah, I still think that again, if you look fast forward 4 years
Mm.
and you say what decisions do we need to make now to be in that conversation in 3 or 4 years,
Mm.
I think that's one of them personally. I do think that's one of them. Go and get whoever that, you know, who Man United, Tottenham are about to go and get that gentleman from Feyenoord, etc.
Yeah.
Who are the other kind of managers who can come in? Who's a De Zerbi? Because before De Zerbi went to Brighton, if he could go to Brighton, I don't see why he couldn't have gone to West Ham. West Ham could have got a De Zerbi. They could have put up the phone and got a De Zerbi. They could pay them the money. They've got a transfer budget. They've got a good academy. Do you understand what I mean? So
Yeah,
they won't
okay.
do it. But I do have this thing in football where it's just like everything is, oh, you've done really bad now, leave. Where sometimes it's you've done as well as you can, let's do the next thing.
But
right?
I think there's room for different types of managers. I don't think everyone, like, obviously everyone wants the young, new, up and coming, new ideas, etc. But then there's still
That's
room.
got that England kit on.
No,
and he's
no,
like,
I
keep
think
it English.
you want variations.
I know.
You want variations. So yeah, it'll be interesting. Obviously, the big thing is what they do with the rice money. That's going to be huge.
Well, as long as they don't do Gareth, but again, that's another reason why it's not a bad time to make a change, right? Otherwise, you don't want a Gareth Bale situation. The way they spent that Gareth Bale money at Tottenham was scattergun, to say the least. All right, cool. So we've got 2 games left. We've got Brighton and Southampton and City and Chelsea. Brighton, I don't even want to talk about Brighton because they came to Emirates, did what they did,
They ain't serious, man.
did what they did in the week, and then back on the Southampton and relegation.
To be fair, I thought because they were 2-0 up and then Southampton scored and then Walcott had a goal disallowed.
Yeah.
When I saw it went to 2-2, I was like, what's this team doing, man?
They're not serious, man.
Like,
But it's part of their growth, innit?
yeah.
Getting that consistency.
Yeah, they got over the line, man. So, like we said, back in Europe with that win. Not back at first time in
yeah.
Europe. First time in Europe with that win.
It's going to be interesting to see how they handle it. We've been giving them the plaudits. They've done very well this season, etc. Let's see how they handle Thursday, Sunday, Sunday.
Ferguson's first goal was very good.
Oh, man.
Really?
He blazed it. Keeper had no
And for
shot.
them, they're going to lose a few players in the summer as well,
I
won't
think
they?
so.
So that's going to be,
He's already said he thinks Casado's going to go.
McAllister possibly.
Well, yeah. I think Liverpool are going to wrap that up quickly.
So that's 2 of your best players from the heart of your team.
But they've already got a couple. I can't remember their names, and one of the names I'm not getting clipped for. So ready to roll in the midfield. I'm hearing like already. We've already got a couple that we're going to see, possibly this weekend, and they're gonna be rolling them out. going to be rolling them out. And then, of course...
Big props to Brighton.
Yeah.
Last week, when the Arsenal, that's the best performance I've seen this season.
It was clinical. It was well organised. Everyone did their job. And they were aggressive. I think that was a big thing. They were aggressive with us. We bit a little bit, and that was that.
Where's that goalkeeper come from? I've never heard this guy, but he looked very comfortable with his feet.
Middlesbrough.
He was in the Championship. Yeah, he looked very comfortable. I thought he was young, but someone said he's like 30-something. No, he looked really good. And the Chelsea centre-back as well.
Colwell.
He looks a player.
No, good. And then obviously City 1, Chelsea 0.
Chelsea should be disgusted with themselves.
It's embarrassing, man.
The changes that Pep made, and like granted, Pep is a systems player, so everyone kind of buys in to what they did, to what they do. Sorry, but if you're Chelsea, you see that lineup, you think, let's have a go in it. Like
Can we confirm that's a B team now? That's a weak squad.
No, that
a weak Man City team.
That was a B team.
Gee
whiz. With Morris starting. But yeah, big up Palmer, man. He had Aspie on toast that first half. Like it was.
Cole Palmer's another one, isn't he?
Yeah, he's another one.
Yeah, he would start for a few Prem teams. Like,
how long does he stick around?
Cole Palmer.
So I think he's in a predicament where Grealish and Foden are very young. He might not get in.
But Cole Palmer's a striker naturally, though.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
But he's not going to play striker in that team, though, is he?
He ain't getting into that team.
That's why I asked. How long does he stick around? Because Haaland's coming and he ain't getting moved until he leaves.
Foden played in like the 10, and you can see the difference, man. Like from when he's out wide.
I was saying this at the World Cup. Play Foden in the middle in the 10. He will be way more effective for England.
Game, innit? So,
it's your guy Gareth, bro. It's Gareth.
We don't play a 10 system.
Yeah.
So he's
well, what he wants the manager to have flexibility. Oh no,
Southgate.
Come on, Plan B.
Really? How dare he have 2 different formations on the whiteboard? God damn it!
Come on, Foden. I'm telling you, Foden in the 10 can be David Silva reincarnated. I know it's a big statement, but I
don't think it's a bigger statement.
I think Foden's good enough.
That's a big statement.
I think Foden's good enough.
Foden's techie, bruv.
Foden is cold, bro.
David Silva.
I remember he's only 22.
David Silva.
Bro. And there's a convo for next week we're gonna get into, yeah. Because I've got some friends who took real offense to some of the comments Gary Neville made about Foden when Saka was doing his thing, right? And I think that they've allowed Gary Neville's comments or their annoyance at Gary Neville's comments to cloud their assessment of Foden. But I think no one should be under any doubts. Foden is cold. If he's played in a right position and he's 22, he's got how many Prem titles? He's done Champions League.
That is crazy.
You know, and I love Saka to bits and he's gonna do his thing, but he hasn't played 1 minute of Champions League yet. Like let him do it at those stages, and then we'll, you know. But yeah, that's one for another week. So City, 3rd Prem in a row. If they do the treble, which I think they will, we'll come into Champions League very briefly in a second. You know, I already said, I think you can't argue with Pep being number 1 because now 2 of his teams will have been 2 of the best teams we've ever seen play club football. I don't know how you argue with that.
Can't.
Yeah.
I don't know how you argue with that. And
one of the best or the best?
Who?
Pep.
Say it's one of the best.
I would say.
I think that Barcelona team at the time was.
No, he said he's Pep's the best manager.
I'm Pep, not the team. The teams are totally.
The manager.
Yeah.
I think Pep. It's an argument why he's not number 1 then if they did a treble this time. If they did a treble, and to be a manager where you've done a treble with 2 teams in 2 different countries, and both of those teams are widely regarded, whoever you support, to have been 2 of the best club teams in the modern era, I don't know what else you need to do to be the best manager.
I mean, even managers have even started copying his style now.
Xavi
played, I can't remember who it was, I think it was a left back in midfield. In one of the games recently.
Klopp's doing it. Yeah, Klopp's doing it.
With that and Trent. Arteta does it with Zinchenko.
And I remember when he did it with Philip Lahm, everyone thought he was mad.
I think in the Prem though, I think in the Prem you still got to say Ferguson's been the best Prem manager. But if you take the totality of football,
I don't have to say anything.
It's there, isn't it? Like
I agree.
I think
in the Prem,
there's enough to back it up to say Ferguson's the best.
No, that's a fair challenge.
The best
in the Prem.
Premiership manager.
manager.
Like, if you're looking at
In
football
whole.
managers, Pep is the best football manager.
I need to think about that one. I'll come back to that one next week.
Come on, counters, bruv.
I can't
concede on this
We
one.
can park it for
I can't
whatever.
concede
I
this
agree.
because there's some qualitative stuff. If you do it on numbers, yeah, fine.
I
But
don't think it's just numbers.
but there's some qualitative stuff there that I think we can
you almost
argue about.
cancel yourself. You almost cancel one out by saying he's the best manager, but he's not the best Prem manager.
Because
Best club manager, but not the best in the Prem.
he
That's fair.
hasn't been the best Prem manager,
Yeah.
but he's been the best club manager.
And he hasn't managed most of his career in the Prem. So you could make that.
Yeah,
we
so what you're
need to
doing,
come back. We
you're
need to
taking
have a
away,
proper
you take
conversation on
away
this.
Spanish and German titles.
Yeah.
because you're just talking
He's trying to
about
play
Prem
chess.
only.
Leave him. I know it is.
I'm not playing chess.
No, that's a very fair challenge. But I need to. No, I
Yeah,
need to-
it's a conversation we need to have properly.
that one needs to marinate
Further-
still.
further.
Yeah. Because how many Prem titles does Fergie have?
13. Yeah.
Seen. Oi.
Can't argue with that, boy.
Yeah.
Wait. And then last week, Champions League. I can't remember how the split of the predictions were. Who backed Real Madrid to go through?
I did.
And then the other guy, he's doing international relations. Yeah, cool,
And there's
cool.
another one I didn't say anything. Did you own up just now?
Own up.
Yeah, you backed Real Madrid.
No, I
That's on
didn't.
tape, bruv.
No, he
I
did.
said City and I mispronounced Milan.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I
He
said.
did.
Yeah.
He did.
Okay.
So yeah, City 4-0, didn't see that coming. But I knew they would go through, but I didn't expect it to be a
Yeah,
4-0
yeah,
game.
you
But
said
Real
you
Madrid
were
did
excellent.
not turn up.
They didn't.
Didn't lay a glove.
It was just blitz from the
Yeah.
beginning, absolute blitz.
And one of our members tried to get on Haaland for not being too prominent in the game.
Who?
Benzema. Haaland. What?
Well, he's got R in his name now. What's going on?
Haaland.
Yeah.
He's one of the parks at Disneyland.
Yeah,
Move, man.
Benzema didn't turn up for either leg, man. Like,
He
which
did
is
not.
very, very surprising.
He did not.
That rarely happens.
However, what I would say in his defense is you have to supply him. Benzema's a player you have to supply.
No
And
service.
Modric and those guys couldn't touch the ball. All that roaming Camavinga was doing in the first game. No. He stayed in his zone.
Yeah, I think
Last
it was
week.
tactically
Yeah.
naive from Ancelotti.
Yeah, he got his lineup.
Poor.
Yeah,
Oh,
very
he
poor.
did,
So,
he did.
Don't get me wrong, as brilliant and as elite as Modric and Kroos are,
Yeah.
they don't have the legs
Yeah.
anymore
Mm.
to contend with top class prime midfielders.
Mm.
They
Oh.
don't. You need young legs in there to win the ball
Yeah.
and then give them the ball so then they can start
Execute.
playmaking.
Yeah.
And
And
they
even
should have
dropping
been.
Rudiger. Like, that was...
Yeah,
considering how well he
I
played
didn't
in the
understand
first
that one.
leg.
Didn't
Yeah.
understand
That was
Yeah.
mad. That was
Yeah.
mad.
Poor by Ancelotti, especially the midfield. The thing is, it's not like he hasn't got the players to use.
Yeah.
He's got Camavinga, he should have used him.
Put him
He's
left.
got Tumasheni on the bench. Yeah, on the bench. So
I don't think it changes the scoreline though.
You heard that, innit? You heard that, innit? You're so lucky, yeah? I corrected you mid-clip. You're so lucky. But the way he said to him,
Oh my days, I didn't miss that.
but to be fair, that's a hard one anyway.
no, it's not.
Say it again,
Done.
Alright. Let's move on. So Milan, yeah?
And then I'm not gonna lie, I didn't back them. I got that side of the draw wrong.
Yeah.
Because if it was up to me, Napoli would still be
Yeah,
about
A
it.
lot of people,
So I got it wrong.
Napoli, innit?
Then I thought Leao was gonna blitz them and Milan was gonna go through. But Inter, fair play to you. Rome, you're in the Champions League final. Another player that I'd like to see do well. Sorry, right, fine.
I just don't
So-
think Inter have got enough.
They are going to get ran through.
Like,
You think so? In a cup final, in a Champions League
100%.
final.
Did you not
100.
just see what they did to Real
I
Madrid?
know, but come
As
on,
long
man.
as Pep
Players
doesn't
get
get in his head,
nervous and
I tell you what.
anything can happen in the final.
I don't think there's even room for that.
It's a
I don't think there's room for
Nah,
that.
I tell you what.
Nah, they'll beat him.
I think that Man City are gonna win, but I don't think it's gonna be a steam. I don't think it's gonna be a steam.
I think of the treble, I think the FA Cup final is going to be the hardest
Yeah.
game for them.
You think so?
Yeah.
I think so as well.
I think that
Yeah.
Champions League final will be done by half time.
Oh my days.
I think it'll be like 2-3-0.
that'd be
Yeah,
really
2-3-0.
I think they'll make hard work of it. I think Simone's gonna come with Italian defending and set up. The problem is they're not gonna score.
Yeah, they got Dzeko up front. It's Eddie Dzeko up top.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
like,
all
come
right,
on.
Eddie
all right.
Dzeko,
To be fair,
please.
to be
Yeah,
fair
Dzeko,
to Inter
please.
Milan, their central midfield is actually really good. Barella and Brozovic are two very good players. They get about the pitch. They're very physical. They're technical as well. Martinez was clearly up for that game. So hopefully, for their sake, they turn up and they can put it together. Like you said, Inzaghi's got a great game plan. But if we're being realistic,
Yeah. Another issue is that
Can't see
Lukaku
past
after
that
the game
City.
talked about them going back to more counter-attacking style, etc. The problem is for counter-attacking style,
You have to have
you have to have, and you have to have a level of speed that is troublesome for the other team's defense. I don't know anyone and Lukaku's fast, but he's got a he on 60 meters he'll dust.
He's not Carl Walker.
Yeah, but across the whole of the defense, that's it. Across the whole of Man City's defense, they're all pretty fast.
Yeah,
they're all pretty good with the ball. So I think he'll make it difficult, but City gonna win.
I think they'll just starve them with the ball.
And I'll be honest, I think
Starve them.
I thought the Prem was gonna be the one that if we had done our job, was gonna be tricky for them. But I can see them dealing with Man United, bruv. I'm not gonna lie. I can see them. If they turn up on the smoke like before, that is going to be.
You think he'll play his full team in that? I think he'll make a couple changes in the FA Cup final. I think he'll make a couple changes.
It's a whole week. They get a whole week rest, man.
I won't be
FA Cup
surprised.
final against Man United.
He's sticking with the second keeper now.
I think it'll be second keeper, definitely.
Yeah, but I think bar that.
Alvarez will start.
I think he'll play.
Alvarez.
Yeah, I reckon they'll make some changes.
I think he'll play a full team against Brighton on Thursday. Then I think he'll rest for whoever they got on Sunday ahead of the cup
They
final.
got Brentford.
Bring all the big guns back, bar Edison, and then they got a whole
Yeah, but
week.
wait. Let's remember, this is Man City, right? So when you say he'll make changes, I mean Alvarez might play.
Yeah,
but I don't think a Cole Palmer plays.
No, but I'm saying, I think
So he might not play the same team he's going to play Champions League final, but you're still going to get the A team.
A team good
As in,
enough.
I don't
Haaland
think
and
De
KDB.
Bruyne. I don't think De Bruyne will play the FA Cup final.
He wants to play the FA Cup final.
Bro,
He will.
there's a
That's
whole
beef
week
still.
between both finals.
And
I know, but I don't think he will.
I
That'd be a
remember
whole
it's a
2 week rest.
treble as well.
Wow.
So who's really gonna not want to be
Yeah,
part of it?
I think it's beef.
And that United team, there's a few injuries now. I think Shaw was scraped through for the game
Why
of
is
the weekend.
playing?
Rashford fit.
Rashford's been injured.
Jeez.
Let's be honest.
He'll miraculously he'll be fine for the FA Cup.
Man United ain't got enough to do.
Wait,
Yeah.
just touching on Man United, and you think they're going to ease walk over Chelsea and who they got last? Fulham.
No, I'm the one that says it.
They need a point.
He's
They
the
just need a point.
Remember, they only need a point from 2 games.
Points from 2 games, both at home.
That's not easy, man.
No, that's easy. That's easy.
So look, I think the Champions League point is a good segue to touch on
Nonsense.
on the nonsense of the last few days. Vinicius Jr. I don't care. I'm sticking with it, man. Wrong or strong. Because the problem, see if I try to change it now,
It'd be wrong and strong.
Vinicius.
bruv.
Not even that.
Discuss.
Because obviously the way they're
You need to have the
You're not putting a discus in his name.
But the problem is, the problem if I change it, you're gonna have 2 different clips. I'm not having that. So look, I don't know. The thing is,
it's not the first time.
It's not going to be the last.
It's not the second time. No, specifically with Vini though. It's
Yeah,
not the
yeah,
first.
yeah.
It's not the second. It's not even the
that's what-
first.
I should have done.
My issue
Just said
is
Vini.
the whole blasé attitude from La Liga.
Good.
So, the whole blasé attitude from La Liga, the officials, the commentary team.
Sorry.
That's
a triple fine.
Make sure you throw FIFA in there as well.
FIFA, and
Even
then
though Fantino's
it boils down to Valencia. Like Valencia wheeled out Cliver to say it was it was wrong, but their captain's still saying Vini shouldn't have antagonized the crowd.
Yeah.
Which is what they said the last few times as well. They said it was, but that's not justifiable. How do you justify racism by saying, "Oh, well, he wound them up"? Okay, well, if he wound them up, boo, like jeer or something. But don't resort to monkey noises. And then the other one, they say, what was it? What's the other word? Tonto. They say, oh no, they're saying tonto or toto, not momo. As if, what really?
Well, the thing is for me, I don't know, it might sound a bit defeatist, but at the end of the day, they're not going to care. It's not people. I've said it before and I'll say it again. People don't care about things that don't affect them. They don't materially care. We've seen it with all problems from a human standpoint. We've seen it with all problems, sexism, all that stuff. If it doesn't affect someone directly, the level that they care. So you've got a society that's predominantly not black in a game and a sport that is run by people that are predominantly not black, right? They don't have as integrated society as you would have here, and we have our problems here, right? So So they don't care. And my thing is, it's not for football or Valencia to eradicate the wider bit. But when it happens, you have to bring the hammer down. That's my only thing. So now it's happened, bring the hammer down. One thing I will say about Spain is apparently things work a little bit different there. So it's not for the Liga to do anything about you. It's a criminal thing. You have to report to the local court or something. I've heard in a couple of podcasts now.
So is that why they reported to the Spanish?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So you do that, and then they will do the whatever reprimand needs to be done. But I don't understand why the Liga can't do something on top of that, or the Spanish FA do something on top of that.
Well, it's like with the head of the Spanish FA or whoever it is came out and said, well, he complained the last 2 times. We set dates. Well, he set dates and he never turned up. So what do you want us to do?
Oh, yeah.
Like, what?
Well, why didn't he turn up?
Who knows?
Who knows?
He knows nothing's going to happen.
He might have just thought it's
But at least go and I'm not saying it's justifiable.
I agree with you.
I
was going to say I actually agree to that point.
But if we're looking at solutions,
FIFA has to step in.
What can be done?
FIFA has to step in.
If we say FIFA step in, what should FIFA do?
Harsh sanctions.
It's got to be
financial.
Who are we sanctioning? Are we sanctioning the people? Are we sanctioning the club? Or are we sanctioning the FA? The Spanish FA?
All three.
All
three. So for me, if something isn't up to the required level, number one, Valencia have said whoever they find them doing it will be banned for life. Yeah, okay, let's see if they find them. Yeah. Number two.
Well, they should. They've got CCTV everywhere. They should. They should know who's got their tickets.
As I said, they don't care. But we'll see. Secondly, I don't think financial does it. Like, as someone said the other day, Tony's getting a longer ban for betting than people get for racism. Right?
Okay, so if
there should be points.
Yeah,
if Valencia get hit with a £1 million fine, that's not going to.
It's not going to be that. It's going to be 10 grand.
No, but I'm just saying. If it was £1 million,
if it was £1 million, is because I know what it is. I've seen it before. It's like 15 grand. I remember seeing 15 grand. Yeah. Like if they get hit with a £1 million fine, is that enough to shift the needle?
It would be, but they wouldn't do it because it would bankrupt a club like that. But you're right, it should be that kind of level. It could be, it should be an existential threat to you, or it should be points. Like I think anything that's serious enough in football should be points.
And then I think if it continues, it gets to a point where UEFA say, right, if this continually happens in Spain, Spanish clubs can't play in European competition. Like it needs to get to like a level where it affects like the bigger clubs, like because Barcelona have kind of been a lot victim of it.
Daniel Alves has had bananas thrown at him and stuff.
Yeah. So if it got to a point where it was like, Real Madrid or Barcelona can't play in the Champions League, people start sitting up and being like, what's going on?
But the issue is they have to care to get it to that level. Yeah, they don't care enough. We know what football is like, right? People have influence. Can you imagine putting in those level of sanctions, bruv? You're getting a call from Florentino Perez or someone saying, "What you did?"
Yeah. And the time it will take to get to court. And
So
it's a hard one, man.
So the other one I've been battling with today is, some older friends have kind of said, "Well, why do black players continue to go and play there?"
Yeah, this is it. I was going to say.
And I slightly struggle with that one. I'm not going to lie.
Why? What's the struggle?
Because I think it's hard for people. How did I describe it? I think it's hard for people to place what their action, so you got a big macro problem here. Whether Vinicius goes and plays there, or because Jude Bellingham was the start of this, isn't it? Right? Whether Vini goes and plays there, Jude Bellingham was the start of the convo. They were like, "Oh, Jude, I hope you're seeing this. You should come to England instead of Spain." And I was like, "Well, England's racism is different. It might not necessarily be entirely better, but he might have a whole stadium being racist towards him. But it's hard for people to now take away their career. Real Madrid is still Real Madrid. The money's still the money. The prestige of playing at Real Madrid is still there. It's hard for people to put that and say, I'm not going to go and do that because that's my little part of not facilitating the big racism picture. I think it's hard for individuals to do that.
But integrity is still a thing, bro.
No, it is.
But I think isn't that making them win? That's what they want. They want you to feel the way and you leave.
Yeah.
And the thing is, if they don't want him there, if black people as a whole, if we never ever went anywhere we were not wanted, we would be here right now.
Yeah, we would never go anywhere.
So you'd have to. So I feel he has to stay. I think more players should go there. Literally, that's the only way you're going to solve this. You're going to have to go and infiltrate and do learning.
Oh, I hadn't thought of that.
Because it can't carry on like this. There has to be some sort of solution.
So do you think that is a credible conversation to have with a Jude Bellingham? Okay, let's take it back. We all love ball. We all kicked the ball to a certain point and we'd all love to have made it pro.
So I think if the governing bodies are not going to make a stand. The players have to, and if that means not going to those countries or the players leaving those countries and saying, "Yeah, I'm cool,"
like John said, man, like a young Brazilian
someone
player
needs to make a stance.
Getting the call from Real Madrid, you're going to be like,
but Real Madrid are not going to be the only teams making that call.
But
it is still Real Madrid.
Look at Vini's point.
That's fine.
So okay, bro. Look at Vini's point of view. He came from Brazil. It's not like he was in Europe already. He came from Brazil, directly from Brazil. These are the things that change families' lives, generations, etc.
Faith in him at like what? 17,
I can't
18?
blame a man for saying, you know what, going to Spain is a bit and he probably experiences racism in his own country. Going to Spain is a bit nuts.
Yeah,
but if I go there for 3, 4, 5 years, I'm going to change the trajectory of my entire family's life for a generation or two. I can't wrong someone for making that calculation at their level. Do you understand what I mean? So you're right. If tomorrow, if this summer or over the next summers, all of a sudden there was a dearth of black players in La Liga, I don't think they'd care about it, to be honest. I genuinely don't think they'd care, number one. And then number two, if players now didn't come to Spain because of that, that's fine. But they would have to call it out. If Jude Bellingham went to Liverpool instead of Real Madrid, unless he came out and said, I was going to go to Real Madrid, but I did it because of the racism.
Never going to do that.
That's what I was saying.
But
I think players need to now say, right, here's what I'm saying. I get that. I get the argument about it's still Real Madrid. If do you know what I mean? It's life-changing, a life-changing opportunity. But if the governing bodies are not going to do anything, the players need to do something. So even if Vini said, all right, cool, do you know what? I'm not about this. I'm not. I don't like this. I don't want to play in front of fans and be subject to this. I want to leave. And then other players started saying, yeah, do you know what? I'm going to leave as well. Or even if it never happened, it materialized, but they just started vocalizing it. It's going to make the clubs go,
but that can only be done by players of certain caliber.
It's true. But
that's the point.
The players like Vini, like Jude Bellingham, like you said, he turns around last minute and goes, I'm going to go to Liverpool because of this. I'm not coming here to be subject to this.
Yeah, fair.
It's gonna cause ripples, right?
Yeah.
And things will as a result of that, it's cause and effect. Something will have to happen.
No, it's true. And to back up your point as well, you know, money is money. I'm still gonna make money in Liverpool. I'm still gonna be playing Champions League at some point. It's still a prestigious club.
It's not like and minimum wage at Liverpool.
Yeah. And it's not, and no disrespect of a club, but it's not like he's choosing Real Madrid or Villa or Real Madrid or whatever. So he could make that stance and still progress. No, you're right. I was talking it through and I was saying if it was me, someone was like, well, you love the ball. So if it was you and you had made it and you're 24 now, I remember did come knocking and I'm not gonna lie.
You're going.
If you took me back now to 18 with everything I know today, I'd be like, yeah. Like, and do that still.
And ultimately, let's be honest, no matter where you go, there's gonna be racism.
Yeah. Because I was gonna bring Italy into it. I was gonna say, well, because then if we did that in Italy, we did that in Spain, then realistically, if you're a top level black player,
you go.
Well, if you're a top level non-white player, because they'll be racist to anyone, but then you just have to play in England.
But it happens here as well, though.
Exactly.
But not on that level, though.
Not on that level. Not on that level.
I can't hand on heart. I can't tell you the time where I've been in a stadium in England and a whole stand is being racist to a player.
No.
Raheem Sterling, Chelsea.
That was a few individuals, not the whole. The whole stand was chanting at this. Yeah. So we know it exists and it's different here, but. To your point, you're kind of restricting the trade. Look, I don't think there's any solution, but I do think to your point that
it needs to be something.
The solution is points. I think it's only points. You have to deduct points.
I think if Valencia lose points, and one day someone will do a madness and they'll put them in a relegation zone.
But here's the flip side to that. What if you start hitting them and they start going, yeah, we're not going to start signing black players like that?
Well, that's fine. So be it.
That's fine, isn't it?
So
cool.
So be it.
No problem. Because then it becomes a different conversation at that point, right?
Yeah.
And these days something always comes. It's a bit like the France thing with the national team where they were complaining that there was too many black players in the national team, and then that leaked later. These things always come out, and I think just to round it off quickly, I think the other problem is we don't have enough representation at the right levels of the game to exert influence, right?
We don't even have representation as managers. We're not going to have representation.
Well, I do think some people, I expected, whether it's media, whether it's club ownership, I just thought with the wealth some of these black players had acquired, I thought some of them would do certain things. And it's their prerogative not to, but I feel like everyone's just decided to kind of go into media and just Instagram about it. Like, you know, they've done things, you know, at the street level, etc. But I think if you look at any other group of people, the only way they've ever changed how they're treated or are able to react when things don't go well is they've put themselves in places of power. So I've never seen a black person high up in FIFA or UEFA.
No, what's his name?
They were corrupt. They were corrupt. Yeah, the Caribbean one. Yeah. He was corrupt.
But the fact that we can name
corrupt.
Jack Warner.
Yeah.
But the fact that we can name
corruption sexual. Yeah.
but the fact that we can name one proves my point.
And he was corrupt. I know,
and he was from the Caribbean. He wasn't even in our shit.
Yeah, true. I know it's not really funny, but Rio Ferdinand atting
Pele.
Bro, I nearly fell off my chair. Like, you can tell his head was hot in it. He was
He was just saying,
if I speak. Anyway, I wrote what I wrote in the group.
I rate the post.
The post.
I rate the post.
What do you rate about the post, though?
Because he's a name, whether past or present, he's a name that stepped up and gone, all right, whether it's social media or it's out in the public at a press conference, he's actively taken a step to condemn racism, the event that happened, right?
Maybe I'm being unfair, but I feel like they've all done that. I would love to see some action from the people that have the result. You know, go get a couple of your friends together and go and buy something that matters. You know, go and put someone in a position that can exert influence. So fine, yeah, it's good that I called it out, but let's not underestimate the things that some of these guys could do if they chose to. It's up to them if they want to, but. You know, it's not just about money. Even if Rio Ferdinand was broke, he's Rio Ferdinand. He picks up the phone and collects a few people. And I don't want to put this all on Rio. Anyone of that stature and that ilk with the connections and the resources, I think it's time to stop talking, bro.
What could they possibly do?
That
Because we still have we have something out there called Kick It Out, which I don't think does.
So let me give an example. I think if you
does nothing. So what
let me give another example. If you think about, and I know it's a different market and a different thing, but if you look at some of the movement that black players have been making in, say, in American sports, right? Where they've been enabling certain things, making sure certain organizations have black people there. One of the most important and most powerful agents in NBA now is Rich Paul, because LeBron put him in place and facilitated that. It's that kind of stuff. So, for example, Rio's got that with Neuro Sports. Like, there's an agency there that has a black owner, right? And has black people there to make sure that it operates and does in a certain way. I just think that across the environment, we just need more of that. We need people in media. We need people in the bodies. That's the only way it's going to happen. Yeah. And then things, and that might not happen in Spain, but if you had that in a country like England, where it's one of the top 3 leagues in Europe, and by proxy in the football, that means the world, then you can start exerting influence slightly differently.
And that's what I think with the whole, even in Spain, I know what you're saying about players making the stand and not going there. I think it's the only way it's ever going to be resolved is that you have to change things from the inside. It comes down to the culture at the end of the day. And that's why you need to get people in proper places, because they're the only people that are going to make change. Because at the moment, it's like this should not be going on at this time. I think it's just sad, really, as well.
You know, there's a black club owner. So Ronaldo, you know, whatever ethnicity he is, he's a club owner where Valladolid.
What?
Valladolid.
Valladolid.
What is going on?
He's owner. So again, if that happens there, what's he doing? Bruv, it's different.
Different, isn't it?
So I'm not saying there's one answer for this. Complex problems have multiple answers over a long period of time. But I just think that if we look at other areas, that's what tends to help, and it's a start. So everyone can write on Instagram, everyone can whatever, but if you want to make meaningful change, leverage your power and your influence and network. We've seen an example of that in other sports, in other countries. How you do it will be different, but I think that's the answer.
But then when with that comes the element of risk.
Yeah.
If you look at someone like Gakpo, he went a certain way.
Yeah.
His career done.
But he went out on a limb. That's my problem. He went on a limb. If there were black team owners in the NFL, that guy would have had a contract.
Yeah.
Would have had a contract by now. So, yeah, bit of a downer to end on. But Mark's been having some fun with the clips this week. City won the title, finally. So, Isaac can leave us alone.
Congratulations, City.
And
three in a row. Well done.
And now we get to the fun part of the season with all the transfer speculation and all of that. So let's see how the relegation battle pans out this weekend. Let's see if it's Isaac's beloved Everton who go down, or or if it's Leicester, or Leeds possibly. And we'll be back next week with the fallout from the relegation.
Peace.
Peace out.
Easy.